Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room, help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard may control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. And the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, Terry Bennett, now joined by my Sideline to Sideline co-host Grant Goodwin. And before we get into the game, let's kind of just talk this whole week as for 2A, 3A, and 4A. Last year it was kind of I don't want to say it was a humdrum, but there wasn't a lot of exciting matchups. This year, I feel it's exactly the opposite. I feel like almost every game you can at least make a case for both teams, and at least every class has at least one game that will probably be a one-possession game.
Yeah, I think all the teams here in 2A are so physical, right? So I think the physicality is going to say something. There's also a lot of athleticism in the skill position areas in these teams. So I think these games are going to be very close.
When you look at the 2024 season, and I've always, and I've talked about this before many times on the air and off the air, you have the season and then you have the playoffs and state championship, and state championship's kind of detached from the rest of everything. So just looking at the totality of the season, what is your overriding thoughts for 2A through 4A for 2024?
I think the favorites did pretty well. A lot of times, the favorites are knocked out early in the playoffs. Some of them don't even make the playoffs. So I think we had pretty even seeding throughout the year, right? You had some teams that maybe weren't as good as what you thought they were. You had some teams like, say, in 2A, Sunray. We kind of expected Sunray to be there, and they're not. Post knocked them off, and then a very good Stanford team came up and knocked off Post. So there were teams like that, right? But not a lot of them. Carthage is there. We expected them to be there. Columbus is there in 4A. We expected them to be there. Malakoff is there. We expected them to be there. Munster to me was a region to semifinal favorite. I was still, they were so young last year. They're still young this year. I wasn't 100% sure that they would actually make it all the way to Arlington with the youth that they had. But here they are. Now they get to play a very talented Shiner team who's very physical. And that was a Shiner team as well, though, that was very young, that we thought was a semifinal type team that we weren't sure that would be there. And here they both are. So, yeah.
I think for 2A through 4A, and honestly for all of the high school state championship playoffs, it's weird because it's a year of transition, because like in 4A, we're getting new state champions no matter what. In fact, we've got 4 teams that didn't play for the state championship last year, but these aren't new names. I mean, it's Salina, it's Kilgore, it's Carthage, and La Vega. In 3A, you've got Malakoff, Columbus, and Gunter. They've all been. I mean, Malakoff and Gunter's both been there, but Columbus first time, Woodville first time. Munster has been there, but it's been since what 2017. Shiner's been there, but it's been what since 2021. And the same thing, Ganado their first time. Stanford's an old hat, but it's been what 10 years since they've been there. So it's weird. It's like a transitional year, but it's just transitioning back to old powers. It's not like outside of, again, like Columbus and Woodville, it's nobody new that's in the state championship games.
Yeah, you don't have Anthony versus, I don't know, Huntington, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that bad, but we do have new blood, right? And if you want to extend this, let's go into 6A and 5A. 6A, the traditional powers, as in North Shore and Duncanville, they're out, right?
Yep.
And 5A, Alito's out. So, it's a lot of that, and I think that's good for the sport, though. I think that's good for our game and our brand in Texas high school football. When you have the traditional powers, sometimes not make it, and you got some new blood, like Richmond and Randall or whatever it is, right? And 5A. So I like it, man. I like all the matchups that we're going to see this state championship weekend.
What do you think between 2A and 4A? What do you think will be the best game?
Well, the elephant in the room right now, and I think everybody will agree, is Columbus and Malakoff.
Yep.
That right there is going to be it's going to be a war, right? You got the athleticism of Columbus and Adam Schobel at quarterback, and Grayson Rigdon at running back, who has been unstoppable. We've seen him for the last 2 weeks just carrying the load for Columbus at times. And then the pure physicalness of Malakoff with Mike Jones and that Malakoff defense. I think that will be one of the best games. And then I also think Salina Kilgore will be really good.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to say people are sleeping on Salina Kilgore, but everybody, including
that's going to be a darn good game.
And I think Malakoff and Columbus and Salina and Kilgore are going to be two of those games where it's going to be like two heavyweights that don't know how to dodge. They're just going to get in the middle of the ring and they're just going to start swinging. I think La Vega versus Carthage could actually be that way. And I'm not going to say that, I think La Vega is going to upset Carthage, but we do know, and I know it's all the way back early in the season, but we saw how Kilgore at times was very physical with Carthage, and La Vega with their running back, I think there can be just as physical. And I will say this, of course there's going to be a couple games that are blowouts, and the Carthage-La Vega one could be, but I do not think there's going to be many blowouts between 4A and 2A this year. I don't really think there's going to be a lot of blowouts through the state championship week at all.
Well, we think that, but it never ends up being that. Every year we sit here, right, the week of, and we have 50% of the games are blowouts for whatever reason, right? So I'm not going to take that out of the stock. I think that might happen, but you're going to have at least one game out of each division be close instead of two blowouts for every 3 games.
Be just an amazing state championship game. Whoa, what's going on?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, playoff 3, man, Merry Christmas, happy state championship week. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, but I'll tell you, the reason I just popped on here real quick is I realized you left me out of the conversation last week. I got no airtime last week.
I apologize. We actually got a couple messages on a couple of the message boards that, we're on and we promote the show, asking what happened to Playoff Tree and everything. And I just said that, you went to visit your saplings.
Well, you say that, and look, I think we all know what's kind of going on here. We all think the beef is between me and Coach X, but really, I think it's between you and I, Terry.
Wait, we don't have any beef. You sit in my studio 24/7. I keep you lit. I keep you happy. I keep Lazy Dog Kettle Corn around you. How could you be unhappy with me?
Well, that kettle corn's probably pretty good. It's hard for a tree to eat. I mean, how do you feed popcorn to a tree, but I digress. I think the problem is here, you found out a few secrets between you and I and your ex-wife.
Wait, which ex-wife and what secrets?
Your first ex-wife, right? Why are you laughing?
Yeah.
This is serious stuff. I think your
You
daughter
hate.
is probably my daughter.
Wait, what?
Let me play this out for you, Terry. So
Okay.
back when you were living in Rush, Texas, your daughter, or I'm sorry, your ex-wife contacted me on Facebook. Actually, it was MySpace back then.
It was
Convinced me
MySpace.
to come back from Woodville up to Russ to have a few drinks. I did. A few things happened, and boom. Let me ask you this, Terry. What's your oldest daughter's name?
Oh, my only daughter's name is Timber.
Right. Timber!
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. So are you trying to tell me, because, to pull back the curtain, we're recording these and I'm recording with Coach X tomorrow. So you and Coach X, y'all have buried the hatchet. Y'all are Y'all are perfectly fine now. Y'all are buddies. Y'all are gonna have fun at the Christmas party Saturday night.
No, not necessarily. He's got a daughter coming up he didn't know about. They're going to name Cypress. And not the terrorist organization.
Oh, wait. Wow, dude. Well, hey, wait. Why I have you here? I know where you're rooting. Who you're rooting for this week, and you got to be exactly. How happy are you to see Woodville make it?
Oh, I am so happy, Terry. I played. I was a nose guard for a while there. I could find a jersey to fit me. We weren't very good, but man, nobody can run up front against us. Now, gap control was not my thing. I was just right over the center. Couldn't go left or right, but man, you want to go up. And I'll tell you, I'm trying to get Woodville. I'm trying to get them to let me go on to the charter bus with them up to Arlington. It's a long way from Woodville to Arlington. I didn't want to drive myself, mainly because, there's not a car tree, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm trying to get in on the fan charter bus that the Booster Club is renting. And I still might have a chance. I said if 42 people back out, they can fit me in.
Well, I do want to point this out.
One person out of 42 back out, so I don't know, but maybe if I could get a GoFundMe and some people could put together like a lumber, when you're down in Lufkin, you see all the timber trucks. Maybe if they could rent one of those out for me, lay me up on top. I don't know if
So
I'd
you
sit
want-
in the stadium, but.
You want to go fund lumber site for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got wood.com.
So, wow. So we had a Woodville fan. You I was going to email us. We'd appreciate it if you don't have Playoff Tree on anymore. But we had a fan, Scott from Woodville, said, "Hey, we appreciate the support from Playoff Tree, but we do want to point out that we're partly named Woodville because we're known for cutting trees down and processing them. So does that worry you in any way? Do you feel like you're letting your other tree brethren down with your Christmas tree privilege that you have?"
No, not at all. That's the world and the tree world, right? Basically, only the strong survive. So they cut down basically the ones that are not genetically engineered and more like Terminator type, such as myself. I've been here a long time. I'm not going anywhere except for hopefully Arlington on what day is that? Thursday or Friday?
Yeah,
Thursday.
playoff trees don't really have a sense of time, do you?
My calendar, yeah, it's made out of wood and therefore it degrades over time and it degraded. So yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us and happy state championship week and Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Go Woodville.
All right, let's turn our attention to a rematch of the 2019 state championship game. Carthage 14-1 versus La Vega 12-3. Carthage, we expected to be here. I will wholly admit I did not think La Vega was going to be here. I think Don Hyde this year has done an amazing job with a Pirate team that maybe plays the toughest schedule in Class 4A Division II. This is an intriguing matchup. I know everybody's going to say, well, Carthage never loses in a state championship game. They don't. They're going for their 10th state championship. Their only state championship loss was in 93 or 92. I can't remember. 91, maybe. I can't remember the year. But since Scott Surratt's been there, they've laid the foundation of one of the most dominant programs, not only in the state, but in the nation. But I think La Vega can do some things offensively that might give Carthage a little bit of a problem.
Well, you got two running backs that are probably the best in Texas, right? And KJ Edwards and Bryson Rowland. So those two just squaring off is enough to make this a headline right here.
Speaking of, rolling on the year, 2,045 yards, 30 touchdowns. KJ Edwards on the year, 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns. But you also have got to understand that Carthage also has Benny Smith, who on the year has 1,200 yards and 19 touchdowns. He's actually out-carried Edwards, a lot of it because Edwards was banged up and some of the blowouts. And Edwards is great. I'm not saying he's not. But I think that's one of the advantages Carthage has is it's not just one guy you can go after against the Carthage offense.
Yeah, and then you got Jet Surratt at quarterback, two really good receivers there at Carthage. And let's not undermine this Carthage defense. It's undoubtedly the best defense in Class 4A. Heck, if you put this Carthage defense up in 5A, they'd be one of the top 5 defenses in 5A.
And that's the thing that people forget about. Well, not forget about, but we get all enamored with Scott Surratt and how usually during the playoffs he does something so completely different and everything like that. But
Didn't have to.
Exactly.
Didn't have to this time.
Yeah, exactly. And I was about to say, this has kind of been the most vanilla offense he's had in the playoffs. But like you said, he didn't have to. And let's point out one thing. Let's give Jet Surratt a lot of credit. You know, we were there when he threw, 5 interceptions, technically 6 because one of them, but 5 interceptions, all right? On the year, he's only thrown 12 total interceptions. So almost 50% of those interceptions came in week 1. Since then, 300
against Kilgore.
Against Kilgore.
Right. Right.
3,200 yards, 51 TDs. Junior Henderson has 1,000 yards and 16 TDs. Cade Ross, 500 yards, 7 TDs. And that's where this game gets won for Carthage. The defense and the diversification of that offense. I think Roland will have some big plays for La Vega. And I think Courtney Parr,
I don't think Courtney, that's the thing. Look, for La Vega, this game's going to come down to what can Courtney Parr do against this Carthage defense, and I just don't know that he's going to be able to hit the big plays like he needs to keep the front 7 of Carthage from just pinning their ears back, coming downhill and shutting down the run game. Courtney Parr has to keep the linebackers and the safeties guessing, and I just don't think he'll be able to.
Oh, they're going to have to get Jabari Thornton in the big plays on the year, 75 receptions, 1,300 yards. And I do want to point out, Courtney Parr is a sophomore. This is a program that has, it's not like they went down, but, they weren't where they, in 2019 they won state and they kind of had a little bit of dip. But this is a program that next year is just going to reload. Yeah, they're going to have to find a new new running back, but they're going to return a lot of their offensive studs, including a sophomore and Courtney Parr. I will say, until you beat Carthage in a state championship game, or unless they're having to play 22 guys who've never played before, I just cannot, with any sound mind, pick against Carthage.
Yeah, it's hard to in this game. I think it could be close for a while, but Carthage is gonna just Carthage, and it's gonna be over. And Carthage wins by 2 touchdowns.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie, and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. So like and subscribe and check us out. All right, Terry Bennett back here on the state championship preview shows. We now are joined on this segment brought to you by Lazy Dog Kettle Corn, the venerable, the legend, I think in his own mind, Oregon's own Coach X. And Coach X, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. It's just been living up and down the North Coast, driving up and down the PC, whatever, H and PVD highway, there in California, and living the good life with the hippies and the cowboys. I finally understood what that song meant until this summer.
It definitely is VD Highway there in California. I'm still confused, knowing your, I don't want to say political leanings, in today's world. I don't want to get you canceled by 50% of our audience, but you're not going to be very hippie-ish with your beliefs, yet you end up in what might be hippie haven.
Yeah, it's true, man. You got to go where the work is, though, dude. Like I interviewed with this girl, and she was like, "I have 3 openings," and I was like, "Yes, I know. I'm here to fill them." And then she made me leave. And I really think you overestimate our audience. I really think my political beliefs, these things I believe, would not alienate 50% of our listening audience. I don't think we bring high with the hippies in Texas, and I don't think the hippies watch football. They're killing football, like with taking cut blocks and hard hits out of the game. Those are what the hippies are doing.
Well, to be fair, I say that, I don't want our stuff to get up on, well, I guess not X anymore since Elon owns it, but I don't want anybody pearl clutching about when they hear about you going for 3 holes and such.
I mean, you got to go for all 3. I mean, that's what they got. That's what you got to do. It's 3 possibilities. If you just get 1, you're doing good. If you get 2, that's awesome. If you get 3, then you marry them.
Well, if you get really crazy, you can go for 5 or 6.
I don't want to get into your personal life at any means, but stuff. Maybe your stuff fits in ears and noses, but not me.
Anyway, so we had Playoff Tree on, and Playoff Tree claims that y'all have made a truce and that y'all are buddies again. And in fact, he wants to hug you during the Christmas party that L4 Media is having this Saturday. But before I accept that, I want to hear it from you. Are y'all friends again?
Hell no, screw that guy. All right, he runs his mouth, and he wants to say apologize and freaking sap and crap and sad and timber and pine straw. No, not even close, man. That man, in fact, I'm starting another burn pile at my house, and I'm looking to pick up a playoff tree to put on top of the burn pile, because that will go up really fast and help me out with some yard clippings and various things in my neighborhood. So yeah, playoff tree, dude, don't be lying. I hate you. I always have, and I always will. And you really do. I don't understand you. So I don't even know how you could say, maybe he did say, let's make up, and I didn't understand his freaking bass voice. And I was just like, yeah, cool, man, whatever. Yeah, let's do that. So maybe that happened. Like the low talker on Seinfeld when Jerry had to wear the puffy shirt. Maybe that's what I agreed to, but no, I hate playoff tree, and I always will.
I don't have the heart to tell the tree. He talks about his upbringing down in the Angelina County in the big thicket and all, and I don't have the heart to tell him, like, dude, you're not a real tree. Like, you're plastic. I mean, you're as plastic as the boob jobs were in the 80s. I mean, I don't think he understands that. I think he thinks he's a real tree.
No, he's as much of a tree as Jamie Kennedy was a rapper in Malibu's Little
Hey, now. Hey, I love that movie. Speaking of politics, he has went so far right on YouTube. It is so funny to watch him. Anybody just type in Jamie Kennedy's podcast. But I love that money. The funniest thing is, did you ever notice he kind of made the same movie twice with just a little bit of a different plot? One of them, he's a rich white boy rapper. The other one, he's a rich white boy hip hop dancer. Of course, that one he gets hit in the head and wakes up like 20 years later. But I always thought it was funny that they were kind of the same movie.
Yeah, the second movie you're talking about is. What movie are you talking about?
Oh man, let me see. I can't think of the name of it now. You don't remember that movie where he's part of a dance crew like in 1988, and they're like real, they're hip hop and they're rap and all that, and then Kicking It Old School came out in 2007. I
didn't watch that.
Yeah, it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie at all. It's terrible.
What would you rather watch, that one or Freddie Got Fingered?
Freddie Got Fingered, because Freddie Got Fingered, it's a funny movie in that the studio asked Tom Green to make a movie, and he said no. And they said, here is as much money as you want. And he said, okay, it's going to be crap. And they're like, we don't care. And it's actually, if you've watched it enough, it's actually one of those stupid movies that has a lot of really funny wit into it. And also Rip Torn, man, he went for it. He played his part like it was like this was the most serious role. I actually have a really, really soft spot for Freddie Got Fingered.
You must have smoked a lot of dope back in the 90s.
I mean, like a couple hours ago. Oh yeah, in the 90s. Yes. Yeah. Tom Green was right in my wheelhouse as far as, my age. In fact, I think we're like the same age. And he was one of the first guys that did that true, absurd, doesn't make kind of sense humor. And I just absolutely love him.
This is true. I'll give you that.
All right. So are you going to be back on the sidelines after the probation? I mean, your terms end. Are you going to be back in Texas this year?
I like it out here filling 3 openings with hippie chicks. They're way, everybody, the hippie chicks get a bad rap, but they're into a lot of stuff, and you can go in a hut with them and man, you can come out 3 days later and be like, whoa, what happened there? So, the myth of rich waspy girls do it the best is kind of like way, like not true. Like you want to but then you got to listen to them talk and all that kind of stuff, so yeah, Texas is kind of where it's at because, if you remove the lust from your eyes and your heart, you'll realize that women aren't all that interesting. And so, you just got to get back to where, there's football and there's no football like there's Texas football anywhere in the world. It's kind of like there's no business like snow business or something, whatever the Christmas trailers say. There's snow business and show business and old business or something. And so, yes, we'll be coming back to Texas.
Speaking of hippies and another 20-year movie reference, that reminds me of Without a Paddle when they meet the 2 hippie girls, the tree huggers, and they're extremely hot, but they haven't obviously shaved their legs in 6 months or so.
Yeah, you run into some of that too. You just got to pretend they're French and just go for it.
All right, before we turn our attention to the game, Grant and I always do this, and you and I did this last year where we kind of just take a step back and look at all of the state championship games between 2A and 4A, and really this year between 2A all the way up to 6A. The last couple years, it was kind of like, okay, there'll be 1 or 2 good games. Give Franklin credit, man. When they're in a state championship game, whether they're losing a heartbreaker to Canadian on a Hail Mary, basically, or beating Brock because they throw the one pass to clinch the game, or last year losing to Malakoff in a back-to-back, affair. But that's usually stands out. Then there's a lot of blowouts. To me, this year, it feels like we actually have a lot of even matchups between 2A and 4A, but also between 2A all the way up to 6A.
Yeah, which probably means there's going to be some 40-point spreads.
Yeah.
Usually when you gear up like, oh man, this is going to be a great game, and then third quarter it's 56-7, or something like that, or the game you're like, man, this game ain't going to be nothing. Freaking Smithson Valley's got this in the bag, and then there's a nail biter they have to make a stop on fourth and 2 inches to secure the win or something like that. So I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of good games there. I'm not, because I'm not driving there to see a bunch of blowouts where you're like, well, I'm in Arlington. Maybe you can go to a strip club or something like that, I guess. But I'm there to watch football. So I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of close, tight games that make you want to stay there until the fourth quarter.
All right, let's turn our attention to the game. Carthage versus La Vega, a rematch of the 2019 state championship game. Carthage, of course, 14-1. Their only loss on the year was to Kilgore, a game that Grant Goodwin and I were at to begin the year. La Vega, 12-3 on the year. But, man, they have just gotten better and better as the season has rolled along. Offensively, La Vega might have the best running back in Bryson Rowland, but Carthage might have the best running back in KJ Edwards. When these two teams play, it's going to be like that. There is Division I talent all over the field with this one.
Yeah, always is, and there is, and there always has been, there always will be with La Vega and Carthage. This one, maybe not low key, but I think people are talking about Columbus and Malakoff being the best game. I think this is going to be the best game, just because La Vega is not your typical team, and the fact that they're not just going to be blown away by the mystique that is Carthage, and they will be able to match them athletically, which very few teams can do that against Carthage.
Yep.
I was watching Carthage on my phone on the appy thing, and just watching them against Brock and thinking, Brock's Brock, and they're gonna be well coached. They're gonna do this. Maybe they put a game plan together, put some kids in the right places, and make it a game. And one of the very few times in my life that I was wrong, because it's just, well, all right, we'll do this and we'll do that, and it's like the Carthage mystique just takes over. Like, hey, we threw a pick when we went for it on 4th and 2. Brock ran it back to the 10-yard line. All right, Brock's going to score and go up. Oh, no, 2 plays later they fumble, and Carthage picks it up and runs it back 90 yards for a touchdown.
Yep.
And, I mean, that's just kind of the stuff that, Carthage does and their kids expect to do, because most teams, in that situation, we throw a pick, they run it back to the 10. You're like, oh, God, we're in the state semifinal game, and we start off like this. The Carthage kids went out there and were like, hey, we just got to play defense. And they just kept making plays like, oh, hey, we scored. Now we're winning 7-0. And then something good would happen to Brock, and the Carthage kids would never get up. They would never get down. They just kept playing like, oh, hey, we got a pick. All right, awesome. We run it back 50 yards. But La Vega kids, won't be out-athleted, and I don't think they'll be scared of Carthage. Having said that, I'm rolling with the Bulldogs in this one, just because, I would imagine the prospect of, if I'm Scott Surratt, having a championship ring for all 4 fingers of my 2 thumbs is probably something I'm going to want to get, and now I can. And I would imagine you design 9 rings in your lifetime. The 10th one's probably going to be pretty big. And so I'm going with the Bulldogs to get their 10th state championship since, 2008? So, 17 years? You've won the state championship 10 times?
And then every year but a couple of them, when you've been beat, it's been like, holy crap, they got beat. It's been shocking losses. I have to ask you, all jokes aside about Scott Surratt, what he's done has been amazing. How much longer does he go on? A lot of people feel that maybe with Jet, his son, next year being his senior year, it's not like Surratt's very old. In fact, he's still young enough that he could do the Jeff Traylor route. And, we all thought Traylor, he's just going to stay in high school. He's happy. And then, boom, we see him now, and he's at UTSA doing good things. Do you see a path where Scott Surratt ends up coaching college, or do you think he's just going to keep winning at Carthage?
You want me to call him real fast?
Yeah, you just call him real quick. Let's get him on the show.
I can FaceTime him real fast. I don't know. I would think if they win this year with your son as the quarterback, that's pretty special. And then he's back next year. So maybe you go back and try to go back to back with your son, and maybe you take the John Elway route and say, it just don't get much better than this, or say, oh, I got to do it with somebody else. I don't know. I would imagine if he told the people of Carthage, hey, I'm thinking about taking a college job, unless y'all can give me more money, they would hand it over to him. So whether he's doing that for that or not, or, just maybe he wins 2 state championships with his son as the quarterback and says, well, that was good. All right, now I'm going to go live up in the mountains and, drink whiskey and ski. I don't know. Maybe he does that, or maybe he just says, well, back to the drawing boards. But if it was me, I would consider it really hard going out on – you're not going to get to go out on much more of a high note than that. So I would really consider that if I was him.
The crazy thing is that man could basically go 0-10 for 10 straight years, and he would still have a winning record.
I was watching the Brock and the Carthage deal online. It said Scott Surratt has more state championship rings than he has playoff losses.
That's just crazy. That's so unfair. And again, it's not like he's and this is not to degrade anything below 3A, but it's not like he's doing it at a 6-man school or a 2A school where he's just always got like you were talking in one of our other previews about if you have at 2A level, if you have 3 D1 guys, you can basically take the world. He's doing it in a very, very competitive 4A, sometimes at D1, mainly at D2 the last 10 years or 7 years. But I mean, he's doing it in a very competitive class.
Well, and it's not like, in the non-district he plays, like you said, just a bunch of, he plays Marshall. He's played Tyler Levy. He's played White House when they had Pat Mahomes and was, is winning. Played John Tyler, or maybe he didn't play John Tyler. He's played a lot of big schools. Hell, he played San Benito this year, damn 6A school.
Yep.
So it's not like there's like, we're going to duck these guys and hope my guys don't get hurt. They play the best, and then they play the best in the playoffs as well too. So, and like you said, hell, Vegas dropping down from Division 1.
Yep.
And so, I mean, you're getting in. I've always felt like 4A is the most wide open and yet the most competitive division in all of high school.
All right, everybody, now's the time. Brown right, motion, tailback slant. Let's put the women and children to bed and go looking for dinner, all right? On 1, ready? Go, 13! Coming up, go, 13!
It is day 3 and 4 sideline to sideline, the last day of state championships here. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett here. Oh, let me get rid of that right here real quick. All right, there we are. Terry Bennett here on Sideline to Sideline, the pregame show, the Class 4A Division II state championship game, Carthage versus La Vega. You heard what Grant had to say. You also heard what Coach X has to say. This is going to be an interesting game, I think. I still feel at the end of the day, Carthage is a couple scores ahead of La Vega. But I do think La Vega can cause some problems and can give them some issues, especially when you look at La Vega's offense and that run game. But at the end of the day, Carthage is really deep. I don't know if we're going to get more like we had with the 2As where we have 2 real good games, or will it be closer to the 3As yesterday? How about Columbus last night, folks? Holy crud. Like, I thought Columbus was going to win, and I thought there was a chance that it could get a little bit out of hand, but never 48-14. I mean, they came out and just absolutely dominated at the point of attack on both sides of the ball. Malakoff got that first drive, and it looked like we were going to have a shootout. And then from that point on, man, Malakoff just couldn't do nothing offensively. Still, though, great run for Malakoff. A 31-game winning streak comes to an end. And once again, in 3A Division I, the defending state champ loses to a new champ. Last year, it was Franklin losing to Malakoff. This year, it's Malakoff losing to Columbus. We'll have to see what happens next year. And for Columbus, they finally get to reach the crown. I think will go down as one of the best 3A Division I teams that we've seen. And I know they had one loss to Hitchcock, but still, what they did in the playoffs and what they did in the state championship game, just absolutely dominating. All right, so we're about, I guess, 10 minutes or so away from kickoff. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to run a couple of ads, and then I'll probably put the timer back up because I've got a long day. I've got this game by myself. Intern Noe, the pro, is going to be in for the Salina versus Kilgore game. And then he and I are going to do an Outdrank the coverage watch party of the first college football playoff game, Indiana versus Notre Dame. So please, if you're not wanting to watch 5A football later on today, join us for that, and we'll watch the first college football game together. But we'll be right back here on Sideline to Sideline, the Division II 4A state championship watch party.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back. All right, Terry Bennett back here as we're just about ready to start. La Vega in their white or yellow, all yellow actually, with the blue trim on the shoulders. Carthage in their red. So we're getting a red versus yellow game. I absolutely love it when teams wear, and I know technically, I think the La Vega yellow is technically one of their road looks, but I love when you see that, especially when it's like UCLA versus USC. That's such a great look. But anyway, we're just ready here to go. Yeah, you're fake. We're getting rid of you. Sorry for the fake stream links. Nothing we can do about that. Facebook still hasn't figured that out. But here we go, folks. We're just about ready to get this one underway. The Class 2A Division II State Championship game. Carthage versus La Vega. Carthage going for their 10th state championship in 18 years. Basically, the year they won their first state championship was year 2 of Sideline to Sideline. Of course, last week, Carthage beat Brock 45-17. The ground game had 215 yards. You know, it looked like early Brock might get up on after a turnover, but then they immediately couldn't do anything. And that's just what happens. Like Coach Check said, man, when you play Carthage, they just don't get rattled. Brett Lee thinks Carthage by 21. Yeah, I kind of feel like a 42-21 feels like could happen. I could see La Vega hanging around with them for a little bit, but I just don't know how you're going to, how anybody this year. It's like if you can't beat Carthage before state, you're just not going to beat them. They're talking about how in 2018, Don Hyde and La Vega, when they won state, beat Carthage in the semifinals. Now in 2019, the Carthage beat them in the state championship game. So here we go. La Vega will be kicking off to begin things. Again, we're here for the 2 4A games today, and then tonight at 7 p.m., intern Noe the Pro and I over on the Outdrink the Coverage side of L4 Media will be streaming the Indiana versus Notre Dame college football playoff watch party. Carthage won the toss and are getting the ball. They're not going to defer, and they're going to take the first kick, and it's going to be a nice little return up to about the 41 maybe, depending on the spot, 40, and that's where Carthage will take over. Wearing the white lids today with the Chicago Bears C. It's kind of funny. Salina will be here after them wearing the orange Chicago Bears C. On the year, Jet Surratt's thrown for 3,200 yards, 51 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Crazy thing is Grant and I saw 5 of those interceptions in week 1 against Kilgore when Kilgore beat them, and it just was a hell of a game, especially for it to be the first game of the year. So they're going to go empty set. So the running Bulldogs are going to throw first. Incomplete on the first top. And that's one thing, La Vega is one of the few teams that I think can not out-athlete, but at least compare athletically with Carthage. So that'll be interesting to see. We're going to share the scoreboard here in just a second as they get it all straightened and ready to go. They're going to swing it now. So the first 2 plays passing, and that's what Surratt's going to do. When you think he zigs, he'll zag and vice versa. And so far, they've come out throwing the ball. Now, I mean, they can do both, and I bet if you broke down their numbers, they've probably ran it about 55% of the time and thrown it 45% of the time this year. So 3rd and 5, trying to draw play, and La Vega is not full, so it's going to be 4th down. So La Vega's defense stops. Good penetration right there by La Vega's defense. And they'll go for it here almost 9 times out of 10. So they're going to go for it on 4th and down. It's 4th and 5. Surratt looking, has the screen set up, but it's going to be incomplete. And La Vega holds the first drive. Great start for the Pirates. You couldn't ask for a better start right there, folks. Right off the hands. That should have been a catch. Now, I don't know if he got the first down. There was a guy right there, but you catch the ball. At least it's you and him one-on-one. Let's see what happens. So La Vega takes over with great field position. Courtney Parr, the sophomore, 67% completion, 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. As the season's gotten going, he's gotten better and better, and you've seen the growth from the sophomore. First play, he's going to fire it down the middle of the field, but it's incomplete. Good pressure there by Carthage. Parr did a good job of staying patient. He stepped up into the pocket. He just put a little bit too much English on it. La Vega calls a timeout here. So 10:42 to begin the game. Carthage had the ball first. They immediately went 4 and out, went for it, didn't make it. Again, if you're watching this game and you would like to chat, just wherever, if you're on Facebook or Twitch or wherever you're watching the game, if there's a chat window, go ahead and type your question, comment, and I'll be able to see it. So they're in a commercial break right now. Again, we'll be here for the Kilgore Salina game. Intern Noe the Pro from Outdrink to Coverage will be in studio with me for that game. And then him and I will stay in studio, and we're going to have some cold drinks and watch Indiana versus Notre Dame, the first college playoff game of the 2024 season. I think it's going to be an interesting game, the Battle of Indiana. Last night we had over 6,000 people watching Columbus clinch their first state championship in history with a dominating 48-14 win over Malakoff. As great as the 2A games were, the 3A games kind of fell flat as far as competitiveness. And Grant called it. He said there's going to be one of these games that we think is going to be close that's going to get away from whoever loses, and that's exactly what happened. And the thing that's really scary about what Columbus did last night against them, this wasn't a situation where Malakoff turned the ball over 4 times or they play bad. Columbus just imposed their will on them. They did what they wanted offensively, and then after giving up points on that first drive, they basically did the same thing defensively and did what really no one else has done, and that was kind of shut down Mike Jones, the quarterback of Malakoff. And when you can do that, you have earned the win right there, my friend. Well, they keep showing Don Hyde giving pep talks. They showed him in the locker room before this, and then they're showing him after they won last week when they beat Wimberley. Last week, as they're saying, La Vega scored on every drive against Wimberley. A really solid physical Wimberley defense. But the second play on 2nd and 10 goes nowhere as Bryson Rowland gets eaten up by that dominating Carthage front. So it's going to be 3rd down and 10 now. Third and 11 now. They actually gave him a 1-yard loss. Ball's going to be tipped but caught. Trying to get to the first down, but going to be 4th down. Ball was tipped, though, and good job by the receiver of concentrating. Leo Brown with a great tackle that basically stopped that from being a first down. He had an angle. Ball was tipped by 54, who already had a great start to the game. So La Vega now is going to go for it. So far, both teams have are going for it on 4th down. Let's see if La Vega follows through or if they're just trying to see something, maybe take a... Nope, they're going to try to go for it. Javen Hernandez is going to run it, and he's going to be short. So both defenses so far shut down the offenses in 4 downs. And so Carthage takes back over, and, man, that feels like a massively missed opportunity for La Vega in this game. You cannot have any advantage when you get something like on their side of the field. You've got to score. You got to at least get a first down. You got to push Carthage, and unfortunately for La Vega, they weren't able to. Interesting going to Hernandez on the carry and not Rowland. He wasn't even in the game. We're in a commercial break now. Scoreless is the game if you're just now joining us. I see the room is filling up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live chat and football watching party. Oh, boy. The scammers are annoying. So 9:13 left in the game. 0-0 is the score. Carthage went 4 and out to begin the game. La Vega answered with a 4 and out of their own. So Carthage is basically starting where they started the first possession. A little bit less. I think they were at the 40 to begin. Now they're at the 37. At their own 37, by the way. Again, later today, scheduled at 3 p.m., Salina versus Kilgore. That'll be the final game that Sideline to Sideline is covering in our final high school broadcast of 2024. And what an amazing season it has been doing the shows, our 17th year. And we can't wait to get going. We got so many big things we're about to start doing for L4 Media here starting in January. We cannot wait to talk about it. Some of this we've known for a few months, and we've had to kind of keep wraps on it until the time comes. But, man, we are so excited. We're going to be changing how we do some of our content, but all in the positive way. We can't wait. This is one of the first times that I've ever been ready for the season to be over just so I can get going on next year's content. So here we come back out of the timeout. Jet Surratt leads Carthage onto the field for the second time. Again, they went 4 and out the first time they had the ball. Carthage going to hand off to their stud running back Edwards, and he's going to get the first down of the day for either team, as he wasn't touched till he was 6 yards down the field. He carried the defender the rest of the way for the 12-yard gain and a first down. He's a great running back, but he's really, really good when he doesn't really have to do anything but outrun one guy to the corner, stiff arm him, and then carry him for 5 yards. So first down and 10. Carthage is just inside La Vega territory. They still haven't been able to get the passing game really going as Jet Surratt 1 for 3. He's going to throw the ball. The ball's going to be dropped again. I was just about to say that Jet Surratt was 1 for 3, but one of those was a drop pass. Now he's 1 for 4 and another dropped pass. And if he doesn't drop that one, he might score. Junior Harrison just couldn't keep his hands on the ball. It looked like he started looking where he was running first. So it's going to be 2nd down and 10. The passing game has struggled early for Carthage. They're going to do a little motion jet sweep to Edwards, and he's going to get out of bounds after about a 4-yard gain. Talking about KJ Edwards and what a beast he is. So 3rd down and 6 now. Carthage 0 for 1 on 3rd downs. Surratt's going to hit the target underneath, and he's going to get across the 1st down. So Carthage has got this drive going well for their 2nd 1st down. They're now 2 for 3 on 3rd downs. Offensive line is just dominating right now in pass protection. Cade Ross with the 1st down. On the year, he had 500 yards and 7 touchdowns. They spread the ball so well in this attack. Going to hand off to Edwards, and this time La Vega's defensive line absolutely dominated the point of attack. It's almost like they knew where the play was. 4 Pirates were sitting right there. You don't see Carthage get beat off the ball by that many defensive linemen at once, but it happened right there. So it's going to be 2nd down and 14 at the 40 for Carthage. Surratt trying to go deep down the field, but it was incomplete. So it's going to be 3rd down and 14 now for Carthage's offense. I love that traditional look of their jerseys. The red with the white bulldog across the chest, the stripes on the side, the white helmet with the red, I call it the Chicago Bears C. So big 3rd down and 14 now. They got to hurry up. The play clock is down to 2. They're going to have to call a timeout. Oh, they just got the snap off, actually. But Surratt's going to be sacked, and you could tell from the whole point of that, they just didn't look right on that play. I bet Surratt wishes he'd have called a timeout. So La Vega's defensive line just dominated 2 of the last 3 plays, and they're going to force Carthage to have to punt. Now, Carthage is going to put La Vega in, should be good field position for Carthage's defense. They're lining up to go for it, but they're going to pooch kick it. And it is going to be a pooch kick. And Carthage is going to try to pin him deep, but the ball's going to get into the end zone. The guy going after it kind of slow played it, and the ball just kind of took off on him. And so La Vega dodges a field position bullet, and they'll take over at the 25-yard line. So that punt's going to be net 25 or about 20 yards. La Vega, two-time state champs, 2015 and 2018. They also made it back in 2007 when Prosper upset them. Grant and I broadcast that game. Was that 2008? I can't remember now. Anyway, they're taking over now. First down and 10 for La Vega. 6:32 left, scoreless first quarter. Parr is going to throw the ball, has a man, and La Vega is going to pick up their first down of the day. So far, it feels like both of these teams are still just kind of feeling each other out. They've played many times against each other over the last 7 years. Again, in 2018, La Vega beat Carthage in the semis and then went on to win state. In 2019, Carthage beat La Vega in the state championship. Now we're going to have movement here. Going to be false start on the offense, the first flag of the game. Hey, and the room is filling up. We've now got 1,700 people. Hello, everybody. If you have any comments, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, and it has a comment box, if you'll just type your comment question right there, I'll be able to see it. If you're on Smokey and you're watching, I'll try to keep checking Smokey and see. But either way, La Vega will go 5 yards back. La Vega averaging 50 points a game in the playoffs. And they've played a pretty salty little run, beating West Orange Stark, Silsby, Sealy with that great quarterback. Clint Finley doing a great job there as the head coach, former Kansas City Chief. As Parr now for La Vega's looking to throw. He has no time, and he gets sacked. Right now, both defensive lines are having their way with two really good offensive lines. Colt Hodges with the sack. On the year, Hodges 5 sacks. Of course, we talked about Bryson Rowland, 2,048 yards and 30 TDs on the year. Trying to do a little screen pass to Rowland. He breaks one tackle, but there's just nothing there. It's going to be 3rd down and 19. So a pretty fast-moving first quarter, 4:40 left, and it's scoreless so far. And Carthage got 1 yard across the 50, and I think they had about 5 more yards, and then they got pushed back. And La Vega started their first possession in Carthage territory, but they've only had 1 first down. Parr looking to throw now. Now he's just going to run it on 3rd 19, and he's not going anywhere. It's going to be 4th down. I'll tell you what, Colt Hodges for Carthage is absolutely dominating right now. He is getting there to the backfield almost every snap that they have dropped back to pass. Good hitting right there, folks. Escada, the punter for La Vega, is on to punt. Jaden Lewis looking to return, but we're going to have a penalty, I think. Delay a game on La Vega. That'll back them up. Oops, excuse me. 4th and 20 now. So they'll be punting from their own 20. So La Vega now setting up to punt again. 3:09 left in the first quarter, clock moving south. Ooh, a floaty snap back. You'll have to watch that. He got that punt off as Carthage should have good field position as they'll fair catch it by Lewis inside, looks like the 47. But, man, that snap got back there slow. Let's see if Carthage starts trying to put some pressure on the punts going forward. Did they really just reference Bernie Tiede on the broadcast? Wow, Ted Emmerich, I love it. That is awesome. Carthage through the playoffs, beat Spring Hill, Crum, Pleasant Grove in that annual grudge match, Van, and then last week beat Brock 45-17. Brock first time in 4A Division II. And what did they do? Oh, they went to the state semifinals. See what Carthage does this time offensively. A little trickeration looks like. Looking to throw the ball by the wide receiver, and it's going to be intercepted. Antoine Good intercepts the trick play. Wow, folks. They did a handoff and then a little pitch back, and then a Surratt did a little handoff to, or no, it was just direct handoff from Surratt. And then Lewis tried to throw it, and just La Vega wasn't fooled, man. They had two guys back there. Henderson's first passing attempt of the year. That's an interesting time to call that play. That tells you what Carthage thinks about La Vega's defense early, though, that they're concerned La Vega's winning the point of attack. And to be fair, Carthage's defense is doing the same, vice versa. Roland now is going to get a nice gain across the 20 up to the 25. Boy, Roland looked like he was about to spring that free. Good pursuit by that backside of Carthage's defense right there. 2nd and 4 now for La Vega with 2:15 left in the first quarter. Scoreless game. Roland now trying to get started to the right side. He's going to get, nope, he's going to break that tackle. And a good gain and a first down for La Vega. Now, I do want to remind people, Carthage at times starts slow in the state championship games. We all remember a few years ago against Gilmer when Gilmer went up 14-0. And then Carthage, I think, beat them 72-21 or something like that. It wasn't a pretty score. I can't remember the exact score, but it was ugly. So first down and 10 for La Vega. Pressure, and he's going to be sacked, and this is why Carthage is so good. You get a couple good plays on him, you get a first down, and then Carthage dials up a pass rush package. And so far, to be fair, La Vega's offensive line is struggling in pass protection. And we're not talking about a blown assignment. He just got beat. Parr almost fumbled. Beck with the sack, and so far, ooh. So 2nd down and 21 now, and La Vega's got the play clock running down, but they're going to get the snap off. Going to hand off to Roland. He's going to break 1, 2, 3 tackles, and all that's going to do is cause him to lose a yard. Wow, Carthage, man, they are just fired up defensively right now. Roland doing the best he could there. Broke 3 tackles. And all that did was get him pushed back further. Third down and 20. And as the broadcaster said, oh, I thought there was a fumble. As the broadcast said, we've already seen a ton of 3rd and 20s. So it's going to be 4th down and 20, and they're going to probably let the first quarter roll to an end. And we're going to take a break as well. A surprisingly scoreless first quarter as the La Vega and Carthage defenses have looked dominating here so far. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room, and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. In the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
All right, Terry Bennett back here as we're about to start the second quarter. Carthage, La Vega, surprisingly scoreless. I mean, I don't know if I should say surprisingly. Both of these defenses are solid, but to be fair, La Vega, at times this year has given up points, though their defense got better as the season went along. But right now, both defensive lines are just dominating at the point of attack. La Vega will be punting on 4th and 20 deep inside their territory at about the 22-yard line. So one thing Carthage is doing is they did try to rush the punter that time. One thing they're doing is they're flipping the field slowly, as the last 2 possessions for Carthage, they're now starting in La Vega territory. A 23-yard punt right there. I think, 24-yard punt, sorry. So Carthage is about to start, what is this, their 4th possession? 2 of them now back-to-back have started on the La Vega side of the field, but just inside at the 47. Let's see if they try to establish the run. They do hand off, but there's not much there. Benny Smith, the backup running back who still had over 1,100 yards this year. Now, the one thing I think Carthage has an advantage is they pointed out the guy that made the tackle for La Vega is also their starting tackle. Carthage doesn't have to do that. They rotate in and out, and that's where they can wear down even the good teams. So it's going to be 2nd down and 9 with 11:17 left in the first half. Surratt looking to pass, and the ball is going to be caught on a jump pass. Wow, beautiful catch right there by Crawford. Good coverage by the La Vega defender, and Crawford just went up. He actually jumped a little too early, but he kept his hands up at the high point and was able to take the ball away. He's got to keep that helmet now. That's the second time he's lost it. So for the first time, a team is in scoring position here. Carthage just outside the red zone. Big tackle or big broken tackle by Edwards, and Carthage hits pay dirt. They score first. They're up 6-0, pending the extra point. Man, how many times do you see that? You finally hit that big play and it kind of softens the defense up. Edwards split two defenders on just a simple off tackle. Two guys were there. Good blocking, though, by the wide receiver. And we've always talked about that, Grant and I, all the way back to Carthage's first state championship game when they beat Salina. The thing that stood out then and has always stood out since then is how good Carthage's wide receivers tend to block. I still say that team and that year's wide receivers were probably some of the best blockers I have ever seen as far as wide receivers. Hi, Janetta Williams in the chat. If you're real. If you're real. So Carthage strikes first. Now that we're going to have to see, and this is where that danger zone begins if you're La Vega, because you haven't been able to move the ball. And in fact, you've been going backwards and you've been giving Carthage better starting field positions. I didn't see that. Brett Lee says he felt two of their wide receivers were holding. I didn't see it, but also I wasn't really looking for a hold, so might have been there. Chris Jones says he thinks a lot of people think Carthage is going to run away with this, but I think this game is going to be very close. So far, you're right. It has started out very close. It does feel, though, that La Vega is teetering a little bit. They really need to get some first downs and move the ball, and if nothing else, flip that field position. KJ Edwards with his 22nd touchdown of the year. Official score and drive, 3 plays, 46 yards, only a 57 seconds taken off the clock. They're showing the most state titles, and of course, Alito with 12, Carthage with 9. Carthage looking to be the second team in UIL history to have more than 9 to have double-digit state championships. And it just blows your mind when you realize Carthage and Alito have done it in a relatively short time compared to how many titles they won. You know, Alito, I know, won one in like 98, and then they've been on a dominant run. You know, Carthage had made the state championship game in 91, I think it was, and they'd lost when Sleepy Reynolds was the head coach. And then, you know, Carthage, after that, they were always solid, never great, but then Scott Surratt took over, and they became great. And they've won 10 titles in 18 years, and they've yet to lose in a state championship game. And he still has more state titles than he does playoff losses. That just is crazy when you think about that. Of course, Don Hyde, he is 71-25 in 7 seasons, 2 state championships. He was also a defensive coordinator when they won a state champion. He's been coaching for 31 years, the majority of it in La Vega. So first down for La Vega as they're going to try to find something, and there's just nothing there. Murrow and Hodge are just eating on that defensive line for Carthage right now. Allison's there as well. Second down and 11, 10-20 left in this first half. La Vega will get the ball to start the second half. And there's a sack. Carthage coming with Crawford, who had the big catch on offense. He's also playing defense, and he came off the edge, and nobody even touched him. And Parr, being the sophomore, he felt him, but it was a little too late. That's one of those that I guarantee next year, after Parr's gotten some more snaps, he'll feel that quicker. But he didn't feel it quite in time. He moved a little late, still trying to pass the ball, and he's really lucky he didn't fumble it. Right now, La Vega has averaged needing 16 yards on third down. Think about that. 16 yards average they've needed on third down. It's third down and 19 right here. Almost a real dangerous pass thrown out to Roland, and it's not going to get much, and La Vega is going to have to punt again. And now we're getting into that point where Carthage is looking to establish themselves in this game, try to get up 2 scores. And when Carthage gets up 2 scores on you, it's really, really tough. That drive went 3 plays at -5 yards. Skata with a punt. This time the snapback was a little bit quicker. Good punt, but still going to be on the La Vega side of the field. So 8:40 left here in the first half. Been a pretty quick moving game with the lack of offense. Started at 11. It's 11:49, and what we're on pace to be at halftime 12:15 or so. Of course, yesterday game 1 put the games off schedule, but not by much. They did a really good job of getting the games as close as you could back on schedule. But that was because Stanford and Ganado had a classic as they went the longest overtime in state championship history, 3 overtimes before Ganado outlasts Stanford 30-28. The 2-2A games were really, really good. Munster and Shiner win a thrilling game. I actually felt like the Munster-Shiner game was a little bit more, I don't want to say enjoyable, but a little bit more intense, oddly enough. I know the Ganado game went into overtime, but it never really felt like Ganado was going to lose that game. That Munster-Shiner game, even though Munster led for most of it, Shiner took the lead late until Munster. Great play call or decision by Coach Carney to punt on 4th and 8. Right at the 50. It'd have been real easy. I think everybody expected them to go for it. They decided to punt. They pinned Shiner and then got Shiner 3 and out. And then they had a good punt return. And with 4 or 5 minutes left, they had the ball at the 45-yard line. And they were basically able to not completely drain the clock, but they took a ton off. They scored. And all Shiner could do was drive close enough to kind of try to throw to the end zone. The ball was intercepted. Munster got that state championship. Second one, the first one in 2017. So let's see what Carthage does. I think this is what their fifth possession. They have 60 total or 64 total yards so far. La Vega only has 17. Going to hand off, and Edwards is going to get a good gain. Starting to get a little bit more room, as you're seeing here. Of course, last carry, Edwards had a touchdown, this time a 4-yard game. Carthage is not really in a hurry right now, just kind of taking their time, setting up their next formation and play. They're going to spread it out as always. 3 to the left, 1 to the right who goes in motion. Now you got 4 on one side. They like to bubble screen it here, and they are going to, but La Vega sniffs it out. Marquay Willis was not fooled. He started heading downhill as soon as the motion man went and just met him in the backfield. Great defensive play right there. Talking about wide receiver blocking, that time Carthage's blocking on the wide receivers was not great. So it's going to be 3rd down and 8. Carthage has averaged 8 yards to go when they're on 3rd down. So both teams have been basically stuck in 3rd and long. Carthage is going to have to hurry. They might have to call a timeout, and they are going to call a timeout. We'll take it with them here. It's the Carthage La Vega Class 4A Division II State Championship watching party. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room, and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. In the concussions I've got, I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot.
All right, they're coming back out of the timeout. We're coming back as well. Carthage facing a 3rd and 8. And of course, Ted Emmerich brought a good point. With it being 3rd and 8, Carthage liking to go for it. They don't have to try to go for all 8 right here. They could set up for a 4th down, and that's what they do. Hand off to Edwards. He's going to get about 3.5 yards, but that'll set up a very makeable 4th and about 4. Or actually, it's like 4th and 6. It looked like to me you got to the 2 more yards. Carthage is in no hurry. We're at 6:45 left here in the first half. And if they get a 1st down here, I mean, they have the ability to grind down this half. And with the way their defense is playing, Carthage is very happy to do that. In fact, the play clock's going to be down to 4 before the ball's going to be snapped. Surratt looking. The ball's going to be caught incomplete, though, and La Vega holds once again. This La Vega defense isn't going anywhere, folks. Great job by La Vega's defense, getting pressure and playing good pass coverage right there. So La Vega pushes back Carthage once again. I keep pulling my earbuds out. So Parr now, low snap, does a good job of corralling it, hands off to Bryson Rowland. He's going to get a nice gain as he breaks a couple tackles, cuts it back up, and a first down for the Pirates. So they're finally not facing second down and 15 for once. Rowland is so patient, man, and he cuts so quick. He sets his cuts up by forcing them to over pursue him because he plants that foot and just turns so quickly. Parr somehow escapes the rush and is just going to throw the ball. He's going to be caught. Wow. It looked like Parr should have been sacked. He somehow escapes that. And then I thought he was throwing it away. So La Vega 1st and 10 at the 15, and Rowland now starting to find some space. He breaks inside the 20. This La Vega offense is starting to find confidence. So second down now and 3. And Rowland's going to be near the end zone and brought down just short. It's going to be 1st and goal, and La Vega is showing they're here to play. Parr going to do a keeper, and he's going to be short. He tried to stretch that ball out dangerously, and then at the last moment pulled it back in. Carthage just got complete penetration. La Vega is going to put it in for the touchdown. 4:05 left. And La Vega shows that they've come to play as Parr on the low snap actually took it from the shotgun, able to find the end zone. And we've got ourselves a football game. Very impressive drive after a very impressive 4th down stop. And the Pirates tie it up. At the half, we'll have Grant Goodwin joining us. He's out at the game as La Vega ties it up, folks, 7-7. Brett Lee made a good point. It looked like the receiver might have stepped out of bounds before, and the official threw his hat, but they never did anything or said anything. That drive went 60 yards in 6 plays. Took 2 minutes and 16 off the clock. 4:05 is left. Now remember, La Vega gets the ball to begin the second half. It feels like Carthage is, and part of it's because their offensive line has been getting beat a lot. It just feels like Carthage offensively has been very conservative. So La Vega's about to kick off. Again, this afternoon, intern Noe the Pro from Outdrank the Coverage will be joining me for Kilgore versus Salina as La Vega kicks off. Up to the 20 to about the 22 is where Carthage will take off. Taylor and Brett Lee both talking about the noisemakers you can hear in the background. I think that's La Vega's side from what Brett said. We have a flag now. Holding against Carthage, so that'll push them back. So now La Vega, man, with 4 minutes left, if you can stop Carthage, get the ball back, find points, and then get the ball to start the second half, you could really put it against up against Carthage. Talking about Scott Surratt's record, 232 wins, 31 losses, 15 district championships, 9 state championships. Try to do a little throwback. Ball's going to be incomplete as La Vega was not fooled. So second down and 10, 3:54 left in the first half. Tie game, but it feels like La Vega's ahead just because it's kind of surprising it's a tie game. Edward breaks a big tackle, though, and it's a foot race, and they're not going to catch him. This is how explosive Carthage is. 86 yards to the house. Wow. Bryson Rowland for La Vega and Edwards for Carthage, maybe the two best running backs in 4A, both of them in the state championship game. And right there, Edwards looked like he was going to be tackled. A spin move, breaks it out, and just, wow. And he was outrunning some real speed there. It's not like La Vega's a slow defense, folks. So just like that, Carthage is up 14-7 with 3:40 left here in the first half. We'll take a break. All right, Terry, been back here as Carthage retakes the lead in one play. It was actually the second play of the drive, but it was an 86-yard touchdown run by Edwards. The explosiveness of this offense, mainly Edwards. Edwards getting some oxygen on the sidelines there. La Vega will take over at their 28 with 3:34 left. So we're maybe starting to see the offenses soften the defenses up a little. I mean, other than the big play, though, it's still been hard work for both offenses just to get yards. We'll see how La Vega starts it off here. Again, at half, Grant Goodwin will be joining me. We'll talk a little bit of the first half, talk a little bit of the next game coming up, talk a little bit about last night, too, just a little bit of a wrap-up. And then what I'll probably do, again, long half times in high school, I'll probably just put the 10-minute timer on, go do the things I need to do because I've been sitting here the whole game. So first down and 10 for La Vega with 3:35 left in the first half. They trail 14-7. Oh, we have a motion penalty, it looks like, early movement, so that'll back La Vega back up. Be 1st and 15. False start. That'll push them back to their own 23-yard line. Well, he didn't move by much, but he did move early. Just a tick. La Vega's going to try to spread it out now. 3 wides to the far side, the wide side of the field. Man, Carthage just lives in that backfield. Again, remember the big play that La Vega had that got them on the got them in the scoring position was because Parr broke 2 tackles and should have been sacked. I don't know if Parr has been able to plant his foot in the ground yet without feeling Carthage somewhere around him. He's a big boy for a quarterback. Parr looking to pass, pressured again, hit as he throws, and the ball's going to be dropped. Oh, man, that should have been caught right there. Parr stood tall, took the shot, put it right on number 14's hands, and he just couldn't come up with it. Good coverage there as well, but Parr standing tall, man. Yeah, you got to catch that. Well, that was a pretty throw by Parr as he barely was able to get his feet planted. La Vega's 0 for 4 on 3rd downs. They're facing another long one, 3rd and 15. Sadly, they've had so many long 3rd downs. 3rd down and 15 actually lowers their yards per they've needed on 3rd down per average. They got to hurry, though. The play clock's down to 2. Trying to dump it to Roland in behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, they're going to call a late hit. Carthage is going to bail out. Oh, they're going to call a face mask. Carthage is going to bail out La Vega. Wow, huge penalty. Surratt is not happy about that. Let's see the play here. I mean, both of them had to face it. It's so funny. We were talking about this last night with Brett Swinney when he was on with me. And if you're going to call it on the defense, call it on the offense. Both of them had each other's face mask. Either way, though, La Vega gets extra life with 2:52 left here in the first half, down 14-7. They're trying to sneak rolling through, but that Carthage defensive line just won't have it. You know, sometimes when you get a defensive line with their ears pinned back and they're rushing the quarterback and getting to him and stuff, you can kind of sneak a draw play on them. That time they couldn't. That pursuit by Carthage is just so good, and Carthage's defense is getting angry. So it's going to be 2nd down and 11 now. Parr looking to throw the ball, has time for the first time deep, and the ball's going to be intercepted. Jaden Lewis, 6th interception, and he gets the ball across the 30 to the 35, and Carthage turns back La Vega. Parr rolled out for the first time, didn't have anybody on him, but he threw it right into 2 defenders. It looked like that was a one route play. That's one of those Parr probably should have just tucked it and ran and got what he could from it. Great ball hawk by Lewis, though, the safety. Three sacks, 6 TFLs, tackles for losses, and 1 interception by this Carthage defense so far. And now with 1:55 left, Carthage could go up 2 scores if they can get a drive going here. Surratt looking to throw, has a man, but great coverage right there as number 2 comes over at the last minute and knocks it down. And if he doesn't, Carthage might score right there. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Back-to-back great secondary plays by both teams here. 1 for interception and 1 knocking the pass down. They were trying to hit Edwards on the little wheel route. So 1:49 left. Going to hand off, and Edwards gets about 5, maybe 6 yards. So it'll be 3rd down with a minute left, or about a minute. Well, depending on when they snap the ball, it's 1:30 right now. You got to wonder here if they don't get the first down. You probably punt it because you've got a minute left, 1:20 left here. Let's see what they do here on 3rd down and 4. Carthage tried to roll out, and La Vega sniffed it out, and Surratt smartly just threw it out of bounds. So it will be 4th down. You got to feel you punt right here, right? They're showing like they're going to go for it, but again, Surratt will pooch punt out of this all day, every day. Let's see what they do. They're going to go for it. Throwing. Has a man over the top. Henderson with the catch and a 1st down, Carthage. You know, you want to say, man, that's gutsy, but when you have the skill position guys you have at Carthage, you take those chances. I thought they were going to pooch kick it, but beautiful throw. Maybe the best throw Surratt's had all day. Edwards for 3 with with about 25 seconds left. It's now 3rd down and 7. And somebody's at the studio door. They'll just have to wait. So it's 3rd down and 7 here with 29 seconds left after the incomplete pass. Let's see what they're going to do here. He had him that time and just kind of let him a little bit. The ball kind of tailed away from him at the last second. Let's see what they're going to do here. It's 4th and 7 now with 25 seconds left. And you know they're going to go for it, and they're going to get the first down. So 19 seconds left, and it's a first down for Carthage. As Surratt throws the ball across the middle of the field. Actually, no, it was incomplete. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Again, the scoreboard's ahead of me. So La Vega holds them with 19 seconds left, and you have a feeling they're probably going to just run out the clock at this point. Go into half down by 7. You get the ball to start. The passing game for Carthage, and some of this is because of what La Vega's doing, but also Carthage, Surratt's missed a couple throws, and they've dropped a couple passes. But La Vega, once again, turns back Carthage. Oh, the ball was tipped. That's what number 16. Never mind. That wasn't a bad throw. Number 16 for La Vega filled that passing lane wonderfully. If he doesn't knock that away, that ball's probably caught. And Parr is just going to kneel down. So that will end the first half, and we will go ahead. You there, Mr. Goodwin? Grant Goodwin, are you there?
I am here.
Hey, buddy. How you doing today,
Can you hear
man?
me?
Yes, sir.
I'm doing great. Doing
What are your
great. How are you
thoughts on
doing?
that first half? Doing great, man. That was an interesting first half.
Yeah, it really was. Man, La Vegas defense kind of keeping them in it here. Kind of unfortunately, they forgot to wrap up KJ Edwards with about 3 minutes 40 seconds left in the second half. They had him almost dead to rights there on that touchdown run and just kind of let him loose. But other than that, man, this La Vega defense is playing great. This defensive line, though, that's the story of the game, in my opinion, so far, is they are just absolutely dominating that La Vega offensive line.
Yeah, we knew that it was going to be tough for La Vega to move the ball, but I really thought with Roland at running back, you might see them try to use him to kind of soften that defensive line up, but he hasn't really been able to get any space. And Courtney Parr, for a sophomore, with as much pressure as he's faced, I think he's playing a hell of a game right now.
Yeah, he really is. He's taking care of the ball, for one thing, and that is a big thing. That was one of my concerns coming in. A sophomore, big lights, especially against a world class defense. You would expect some turnovers, but he's taking care of the ball, and you put that with the way their defense is playing. That's why they're in the game. I do think offensively they're gonna have to do something to get position, to get some big play chunks or something. I don't know if it's going to be motion, maybe rolling out of the Wildcats, something, but they're going to have to get this Carthage defense out of position a couple of times.
Yeah, but if you'd have told Don Hyde that, hey, you're going to go in at half, you're going to be down by 7, you're going to get the ball to start the second half, I think he'd have been happy at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Carthage, what do they got to do offensively? I know this is unfair, but
absolutely. I think if you're La Vega, you just want to be within striking distance in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. But this offense for Carthage, I know this is the second time I'm seeing them in a full game, and just like the first time I see them, this passing game just does not look like it comes together at times.
No, Surratt's made a couple of really good throws, but you're right, nothing real consistent. Now, how much of that is timing, and how much of that is maybe La Vegas defense is, the back end of that defense. I don't know.
So you during the pre-games, that we recorded, you made a great comment. You said all these great potential matchups. There's going to be one game that's just going to get sideways for somebody, and it happened last night as Columbus dominates Malakoff. But the thing that was so impressive to me is it's not like Malakoff played a bad game. They didn't turn the ball over 5 times. There wasn't a ton of penalties. It's just Columbus was just a far superior team.
Yeah, they were, and Malakoff came in really banged up. I don't know if you noticed, but that they were picking on that little number 10, the corner. I later found out he's like the third string corner, so they found that out early and really exposed him. And by the time they took him out and hit him, it was too late.
What are you thinking, Salina versus Kilgore? You gave your pick in the pregame, but you still feel like you did in the pregame? Or are you feeling a little bit different about that game coming up?
I'm still pretty much feeling the same. I really do think it depends on Kilgore's defense. If they played the way they played when we've seen them a few times this year, I think they'll keep themselves in the game. How are they going to move the ball, though, against this Salina offense? That's the biggest question in my mind.
All right,
defense,
last question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant. Last question. Give me the score for Indiana versus Notre Dame, and give me the score for Clemson versus Texas.
I'm going to say Notre Dame 28-17. Texas, I'm going to say 35-21, maybe something like that.
And by the way,
expect 2 totally different scores.
And I think you're right on that. But by the way, the next time we talk to you at the next halftime, your best friend, intern Noe the Pro, will be in studio.
He will.
Yes, sir.
Man, I wish I was there. I could bounce him on my knee. He tell me what he wants for Christmas. I miss Noe.
Well, you'll be seeing him tomorrow night at the Christmas party, and we'll be seeing you at halftime of the next one. Enjoy the second half.
Okay.
Talk to you later,
you
buddy.
too, my friend. We'll talk to you next.
All right, that's Grant Goodwin, of course, my co-host on Sideline to Sideline. As we were talking about, intern Noe the Pro will be in studio for the next game. In fact, he actually could end up in studio for this game if it goes long by what time he's planning on getting here. It's an extended half, of course, in high school football. So I'm going to put the timer on. I'll be back in about 10 minutes as I got to go take care of a couple things, and we'll be right back. Halftime, Carthage 14, La Vega 7. All right, Terry Bennett back here as we're about ready to start this second half, which is brought to you by Eads Meat Market in Amarillo. If you're in Amarillo and you need a late Christmas gift idea, check out Eads Meat Market. You can go by one of their multiple locations, such as 6103 Hillside Suite in Amarillo. You can give them a call, 806-352-4242. They have smoked turkey. They have spiral sliced ham. They have prime ribs. They've got you covered. They've got gift boxes, meat boxes, steak boxes. I mean, hey, if you want to give me a gift, give me a steak box. Now, right now, they're concentrating on the local because of the Christmas and everything, but they do ship. If you go to their website, eadsmeats.com, you can click the for shipping only, and they have a ton of choices. So after Christmas, hey, give a gift certificate from there if you want to. Again, check them out. Eads Meat Market in Amarillo. Give them a call, 806-352-4242, and let them know you heard about them here on the state championship preview shows. They are sponsoring the third quarter, and we do appreciate them. And it should be an interesting one as Carthage is ahead, but it's been a back and forth defensive slugfest. Carthage up 14-7, but La Vega's defense, for the most part, outside of one drive and one KJ Edwards' big 86-yard touchdown run, they've played pretty good. And Carthage's defense, outside of a broken play by Courtney Parr at quarterback, they've absolutely dominated the point of attack. Intern Noah's en route to the studio. He'll be joining me for the next game. Might even be able to join me for this game. So La Vega will receive to begin things, trailing 14-7. Right now, total yards, Carthage with 189. La Vega with 71. Carthage with only 61 passing yards, as Surratt is 5 of 16 for 61 yards. Third down conversions, Carthage 2 of 25, La Vega 3 of 15. Both teams have 6 first downs. This is where the game has been. A combined 1 for 10 between these two teams on third down, a combined 1 for 5 for these two teams on fourth down. That's where why this game is only 14-7, as La Vega will take the kickoff. Nice little return up to the 25, down to about the 27-yard line, and the Pirates will start there. Courtney Parr on the day, 6 of 10 for 51 yards. He has been just absolutely under duress almost the whole game. He does have the one interception. Carthage has an interception, but it was their wide receiver, Henderson, who threw it when they tried a little trickeration earlier in the game. On the ground, La Vega only has 19 yards on 19 rushes. Now, 6 of those have been sacks, or 6 sacks have created a negative 19 yards. Bryson Rowlands actually had 42 yards. He's averaging 4.2 yards a carry, but he still doesn't feel like he's really got on track. So on first down, they're going to try to hand off to Rowland. And once again, that Carthage defensive line just will not let them breathe. It's going to be a loss of a yard, second down and 11. So second down and 11 for La Vega. First drive of the second half. Parr has some time this time and tries to throw a little slant, or more of like a true in, and it's going to be incomplete. So it's going to be third down and 11. Not the best pass, but you got to catch that. Jabari Henderson's been the big play threat for La Vega all year, and he has not really done anything in this game. So third down and 11, just like that. La Vega, once again, third and long, and both teams have lived in third and long. Parr looking to pass, going to throw the ball deep, has a man running behind the defense. Ball's going to be dropped. Oh, man, La Vega almost had the first big play. Marcus Jackson got behind the defender, but the defender got his arm up, and then the ball fell right into Jackson's hands after the tip, but he just couldn't corral it, and it's 4th down, and La Vega is going to have to punt. Parr is frustrated because he knew how close that was. That would have shooken up this game. So La Vega now forced to punt. Another bad snap, and the ball is almost blocked. It did get, no, it just went straight up in the air. Wow, Carthage gets the ball at La Vega's 38-yard line. And we talked about this earlier. The first snap, the ball kind of floats to the punter, and it looked like Carthage is going to have a chance to block it. And right there, he didn't block it, but he might as well have. So Carthage with their first drive of the second half, they start in La Vega territory at the 39-yard line. Or actually the 38-yard line. 10:54 left here in the third quarter. Going to try to hand off to Edwards, and he's going to get bottled up. Man, these defenses are just playing out of their minds, folks. If you're not able to watch this game and you're just watching me, and you know, I cannot impress on you how much both of these defenses are playing, especially against the run game. And I know Carthage run stats look good, but that's because of one play. The 86-yard touchdown is basically the chunk of this offense. And Carthage, just like La Vega, they're facing 2nd and 3rd and longs. Right now it's 2nd and 15. Going to hand off to Edwards again, and a little bit of room, but not much, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 12, maybe 11. So 3rd down and 11. Again, both teams have been facing 3rd and forever all game long. I don't care how good your offense is. When you're always in 3rd and 11, it's really hard to open up that playbook. And you know it's 4-down territory, so Carthage is going to run this not looking for 11 all at once if they don't have to. And it's going to be thrown wide open, and it's dropped. Wow. Man, these Carthage wide receivers are having a terrible game. Just flat out, honestly, they just are not catching catchable passes. So they're going to go for it on 4th and 11. Why not? And it's going to be a delay of game. Man, this just does not look like a normal Carthage offense today. And again, credit La Vega for a lot of that, the majority of it. But still, we've seen a delay of game. We're seeing wide receivers just drop multiple passes. So now it's going to be 4th and 16. Let's see if they're just going to pooch punt it. Or quick kick it, as they're calling on the broadcast. Again, 4 seconds left on the play clock. Yeah, he's going to quick kick it. And that's a beautiful punt. Doesn't quite get inside the 10, but it gets inside the 15. So La Vega will take over once again deep inside their territory. But once again, they turned back this Carthage offense who had great field position. This game has not had any rhythm to it for either side. There's been no momentum by either offense. The touchdown drives have been mainly because of a couple big plays. For La Vega, they just can't block the pass rush for Carthage. And for Carthage, I mean, their receivers just aren't having a good game catching-wise. They're going to have to figure that out. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was reading an email from a fan. Honeygrove loses their head coach as he is going to take the offensive line coach at Southeastern Oklahoma, Shane Fletcher, as a historical season this year as Honeygrove got the furthest they've ever been, making the region final before bowing out to Joaquin. Great season by them. He now is going to go up to college, so Honeygrove's job is open. They've got a lot of talent coming back next year. They're not going anywhere, especially in that region where, you know, everybody kind of took a step back. They took a step forward. Rylan Morris will be back. I think like 9 starters will be back on that offense. So Honeygrove, if it makes the good hire, I think that you could easily say they might be a Region 3 favorite next year. Talking about Scott Surratt and his defensive coordinator, they're best friends, and talking about golfing. And, folks, that's where, as great as a quarterback Jet Surratt is, he's probably a better golfer. So La Vega now sets up 1st and 10, 9:08 left in the third quarter. They're trailing 14-7, just trying to find some positive yards on first down, and Roland Bryson gets them up across the line of scrimmage for about a 3.5, 4-yard gain, and that's exactly what La Vega needs, so they're not facing 2nd and 15. So 2nd down and 5 now. That might be the best first down play for La Vega all game long. Low snap, handoff to Bryson. He's going to get a little bit of a gain. He's going to get a first down and more. So 1st down and 10 for La Vega as they're starting to find something on the run game. Rolling again, breaks out, gets near the first down. Starting to see the run blocking looking way, way better. That's the thing. Roland's not a big dude. They're talking about on the broadcast. He's 5'8", 170. This time, though, he gets ran down from behind. Crawford having a really good all-around game. A sack, a couple TFLs, had a big catch on the offensive side. So 2nd down and 13. So once again, La Vega back in 2nd and long after having a couple good starts on their drives. Parr looking deep. Has time this time. He throws the ball up, and it's going to be tipped. They're going to call it incomplete. I thought it was going to be intercepted. That was the first time you saw Parr have some time right there. Third and 13, Parr looking to throw. He's going to find a man after scrambling. Short of the first down, but he's running, and he's going to get it. Huge Vega first down right there. As once again, Parr keeps the play alive, even though he was getting hit in the backfield. Patrick Devitt in our Patreon chat on Discord asked about how is La Vega playing them different than Brock. La Vega is just a better team than Brock, too. This La Vega team, I think, people don't understand. If it wasn't for Carthage, if La Vega was playing anybody else, Parr's going to keep it himself, and he's going to get a big first down. They're definitely moving the ball. I think if La Vega were playing a lot of other teams in 4A Division II this year, they would be the favorite in this game. As they progressed, they got better and better. The defense got better. Courtney Parr, the sophomore quarterback, has gotten better. And as the seasons went, they've just become a better team. They've done what you want as a program. You want to get better as the season goes. You want to be peaking right at the state championship or at least in the playoffs, and that's exactly what La Vega's done. They're actually out first downing Carthage in this game so far, 10-6. Carthage's defense is on skates this drive. Handoff to Roland, a minimal gain, but still they're starting to push Carthage down the field. $5:25 left in this third quarter of a fast-moving quarter here. Carthage is up 14-7, but La Vega is definitely driving down as they've got it at the Carthage 27-yard line. Second down and 6. Rolling another big gain, going to be near the first down. Going to be third down and short. Brett Lee brings up a good point. That was close to target. I don't think it was a full target. I think they're trying to adjust when the guy goes to the ground, the targeting, because a lot of times you're not actually aiming for the head, but that's where it ends up. Third down and 1, going to be a first down, man. Parr has found a rhythm passing the ball. It's amazing how good this offense looks when it's not second down and 20 and third down and 20. Parr now 8 for 15 for 73 yards. First down and 10 for Carthage. They're for La Vega, they're inside the Carthage red zone. And this time, the defense has not let Roland get going. He broke up 2 tackles, but there was just such great pursuit by Carthage. He ends up losing a yard. And see, this is where this defense is so good. Even if you have a good drive, you just can't lose it down against them, because once you lose that down and you're behind the sticks, it is so hard to get back ahead of it. Carthage with 9 tackles for losses in this game, folks. Wow. Handoff again, and now Roland's in deep trouble, and it's going to be a huge loss. 3rd down and 15. Again, just what we were talking about. Once you lose a down against this defense, it is so hard to get it back. So 3rd down and 15. Parr looking to throw. Oh, he's in trouble. Trying to get away from it. He does, but then he's going to get hit and he's going to be sacked. Carson Crawford having a heck of a game. 4th down and 23. Wow. Parr had some time early, but nobody was open, and then Carson Crawford closed in on him before he could do anything. So the last 3 plays, they've lost 2, 3, and then 8 to make it 4th and 23. I'm sorry, 4th and 23. Now we're going to have a delay of game on La Vega. So now it's going to be 4th and 25. So now it's 4th down and 28. As they were saying, you just throw to the end zone right here. Throws it, has a man, and it's going to be just incomplete. Wow. The receiver for La Vega got behind the defense, but just couldn't quite run the ball down. Oh my goodness. Remember that play if La Vega ends up losing, especially if they lose by a possession. Jabari Thornton finally got behind the defense and he just couldn't find the ball. He was running from the middle to the left and the ball kind of drifted right and he kind of turned back around and he just couldn't come up with it. But to get behind that defense is impressive enough. So Carthage repels La Vega after La Vega had the best drive that they've had all day long. Let me see if I can find out how many yards they haven't taken that off. I meant to look at that before. That was a 14-play, 55-yard drive. They took 7 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. So one good thing is they ground down the clock. They've almost burnt the 3rd quarter. You're limiting Carthage's possessions, and as long as you're a one-possession game, and Grant said it at halftime, if La Vega's within one possession going into the 4th quarter, they've got to be happy. The problem is, and we always talk about this, when you play great teams, you sometimes got to be up 2 scores going in the 4th quarter, and even then you're going to be holding on for dear life. So let's see what happens here. Can Carthage get their offense going here in the second half? I want to thank everybody that's here in the watching with us. We still got over 2,100 people. We still have a bunch of bots. Who are posting their links, and we're trying to get rid of them as we go. All right, so Carthage will take over 1st and 10 at their own 32 after holding La Vega out of the end zone and off the scoreboard after La Vega had their best pure drive of the game. I know they had a touchdown earlier, but that was a big pass a big pass play that was a broken play, and then they had another big pass play that was kind of another broken play on that one that led to the touchdown. This one was more consistent. You saw what La Vega wants to do with Roland, trying to grind down this Carthage defensive line, but as we talked about, you lose one down. If you have one down where you lose yardage, it is so hard to get that back against this Carthage defense. They feast when you lose yards, and you saw it there. It went from a loss of a couple, then the next play was a loss of 3 or 4, then the next one was a loss of 8, and then a delay of game, and before you knew it, it was 4th and 28. So Carthage will take over with 1:46 left in this third quarter. Benny Smith with a big gain. Almost a first down. Benny Smith, the backup running back, had over 1,300 yards this year. So now Carthage starts off this drive well with a 9-yard gain, 2nd down and 1. And then we're going to get a false start. Carthage's right guard looked like he just kind of lost his balance and fell forward. Yeah, he kind of flinched and fell out of his stance, lost his balance. You know, as I always say, when you're in that up stance for an offensive lineman, you got to have the balls of your feet balance you, and he was kind of flat-footed and he fell forward. So now it's going to be 2nd down and 6. Handing off to Benny again. He's going to fall forward for a couple yards, so it'll be 3rd down and about 4. So back to where it were. No, I guess maybe about 2nd and 3. We'll see what they spotted. Is the color commentary trying to tell moms how to mom? That's not going to go well. 3rd down and 4 for Carthage here now. Let's see if they can find the first down. Going to throw the ball out. It's going to be incomplete, and it's going to be 4th down. So now what will Carthage do? They've been going for it all game, but you're now in a field position thing right here where I think you've got to punt. These wide receivers have had a really hard time finding open space, and then when they have, it looks like they're going to go for it. Let's see if they're going to actually go for it, or if he's going to pooch kick it. Nope, they're going for it. Strat's going to throw it. It's going to be caught for a first down. Man, that right there is Carthage being Carthage. 4th and 4 on your own territory. The passing game has been just inconsistent and fits and just not good. And then boom, perfect timing, first down. Carthage keeps the ball. Henderson hits over the 1,000-yard mark in receiving with 5 seconds left in the third quarter. He went out of bounds, so they will have to snap the ball. Give it to Edwards. It looked like he had a lane, but La Vega closed that. Brett Lee posted in our. Speaking of, as we go to timeout here at the end of the quarter, check out Eads Meat Market. Look at that right there if you're watching the screen. How beautiful is that? But also, check out our Patreon. Go to patreon.com /L4 Media Company. For $3 a month, you can get great content that we're going to be rolling out in 2025. We're going to have multiple Patreon shows, including a coach, kind of a chalk series where coaches talks about their schemes and their favorite plays that they've used. We're going to have a couple off-season series with team previews where we talk to media members and local people about their team going into the season. All that on Patreon. And, of course, Outdrank the coverage, all the stuff we do, the look backs at the historical side of sports, Bad Movies and a Drink, where we get together and we watch bad movies and we have fun talking about it. All that on Patreon, all for less than a cup of coffee. Patreon.com/L4 Media Company. As we hit the fourth quarter, this fourth quarter is going to be brought to you by Lazy Dog Kettle Corn. You can, of course, check them out. Go to their Facebook page. Just type in Lazy Dog Kettle Corn. You can also order 3 awesome packs. We have the Sideline to Sideline gift pack, the L4 Media Sample pack, and the Outdrank the Coverage pack. Just go to 5gfarmtexas.com/shop. And I'm telling you, folks, this kettle corn is legitimately great. We've been destroying them in the studio this week. I've been eating on the pork rinds. He'll even give you some cotilla hot sauce. I'm a hot mustard guy with pork rinds. I love a spicy mustard with it. They have a Cajun pork rinds and a Cajun kettle corn that's just absolutely awesome. So we do appreciate them being the third quarter sponsor here of what has turned into just an absolute slog of a game, but in a good way. Sometimes you like to see these defensive just going at it back, blow for blow. They're talking about the last time La Vega and Carthage played when Moochie Dixon just went off against La Vega. That was a close game, man, and then Carthage just took off. They scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns in consecutive drives and just gutted La Vega. So here it is. It's 14-7. Carthage 2nd and 7 as we start the fourth quarter. And you got to feel if you're La Vega, if you go down 2 scores, I don't know if you can come back because I don't know if you can score 2 more touchdowns against La Vega. But then once again, Carthage can't find the passing game. Incomplete. It's 3rd and 7. I mean, it's a little high, but that is a catchable ball. Their receivers, Surratt has struggled at times, but really, honestly, the offense, the wide receivers have struggled more with the drops. So 3rd down and 7. Carthage has got to hurry up. Again, they're taking so long here to snap the ball. They're going to have to call a timeout. They're going to get a delay of game, and they will get a delay of game. I mean, this is just so un-Carthage-like. And again, a lot of it, you got to give a lot of credit to La Vega's defense, but Carthage is not having a good day offensively. So 3rd down and 12 now for Carthage's offense, as once again, both of these teams have had to battle 3rd and longs almost every drive. Again, they're down to 9 seconds on the game clock, and they're just now breaking the huddle. They finally got the snap off. Now they're trying to run a screen, and they're not going to get it. La Vega's back there, and it's going to be 4th down. That's the 2nd time they've tried that screen, and both times La Vega is ready for it. So 4th down and 12, they're lining up like they're going to go for it, like they have all game long. But let's see what they do here. I think at this point you punt it. Yep, he'll quick kick it. Again, no return for La Vega back there, and the ball's going to bounce inside the 15, inside the 10. A beautiful punt by Jet Surratt. At some point, La Vega needs to think about having somebody there just to drop back, because Surratt, just like his golf game, man, he is putting, he's chipping it to the hole so well with his punts. So with 11:34 left here in this game, Carthage holding on 14-7. So here we go. La Vega with 11:34 left, down by 7, needs 90 yards on the drive, and it's a bad snap. The running back Jones falls on the ball, but another loss of downs. It's going to be another tackle for loss officially, and it's going to be a loss of 3. We've seen a couple low snaps that Parr's been able to dig out, but that one he couldn't. So 2nd down and 13 now. The backup running back Jones is still in, and he's going to lose another one. So all of a sudden now it's 3rd down and 15? And La Vega's got the shadow of their own goal that they've got to worry about. You don't want to get Parr scrambling again. I mean, that's a great thing to have, but if he doesn't pay attention, he could end up in the end zone getting sacked, and then Carthage has 2 points and a lead, the ball getting the ball back, I should say. Sometimes English is hard. 12 tackle for losses for Carthage. That's got to be near a team record. Now, La Vega needs to hurry up. The play clock's down to 3-2. He gets it off. And he has to just throw the ball away. And it's going to be 4th down and 15. So remember, La Vega's snapper on these punts have floated a couple back. Also, you got to remember, Carthage has a really good return team. La Vega's really in danger mode right here. A better snap, and they're going to let him punt. Oh, it takes a beautiful roll for La Vega. Jaden Lewis is going to grab it at the 40, at Carthage's own 40. So a wonderful punt at the best time needed. But Carthage will take over 1st and 10 at their own 42, ahead 14-7 with 9:52 left. Nine minutes and 52 seconds left in this game. It has been a old-fashioned Donnybrook. On the game, Carthage 210 total yards. La Vega only 125 total yards. 73 through the air, 52 on the ground. Carthage 69 through the air. Nice. 141 on the ground. But 86 of that's one play. Carthage hasn't ran the ball that well either. They've ran it a little bit better. Roland has 18 carries and 72 yards for La Vega. Their problem is everybody else has negative yards. So that's why they have 31 carries for only 52 yards. KJ Edwards, 12 carries, 139 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Carthage. Intern Noe is in the studio. As he is getting set up, he's going to be here for mainly the Kilgore Salina and then the college playoff game, but he got here early today. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm having fun watching a Donnybrook of a game here. It's been a offensive slog as I try to get the camera on you. Hang on. Yes, it is, sir. It's actually so you can hear the broadcast. So you can. Hang on. Ooh, you smell nice.
Thank you.
All right, intern Noe is here. He's putting on the. You can't really see him. Well, hang on. Let me. First, I gotta tap him in. We should have had NWO's music playing. All right, so you come in here and it's 9:52 left. Brett Lee says, "Intern Noe, prep thy liver."
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay. Well, you can hear me not because I'm sitting next to you, or you can hear me like I'm sounding okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
I just hear the game.
Yeah,
so.
I don't have you tied into this, but you don't really need to hear anything over here as far as because you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We will have to, when Grant talks at halftime of the next game, I'll have to do some magic to get you tied into this side. But other than that, yeah, I wanted you to be able to hear the broadcast because I do like to hear what they have to say. It kind of helps us. But I don't know how much you got to watch or you've been running errands, but, you know, Carthage, the heavy favorite, but La Vega's defense has kept them in the game very much. But the problem is La Vega's offense hasn't been able to do much.
So, I mean, this is a very lower scoring game.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's under 10 minutes. Were you expecting a low scoring game?
No. I wasn't expecting a one possession game either. You know, Carthage is 9-0 in state championship games over the last 18 years. They were the prohibitive favorite. La Vega got better as the year went along, and they're playing the best football they have. They've got a sophomore quarterback. But this La Vega defense is just – and Carthage's offense has been struggling, some of it on their own. The receivers, they haven't given a stat. They try not to give bad stats, you know, in a high school game. But I've counted at least 6 drop passes by the Carthage receivers.
I mean, that sometimes can be the difference in a ball game. That's how, you know, a really good team that should be up by 3 or 4 scores, if, you know, they make a lot of mistakes, that, you know, the team like La Vega, you know, puts them back in the game. I know these teams. I know their football powers.
Mm-hmm.
My first thing I see right there, I never realized Carthage, their helmet, it looks just like the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, I call it the Chicago Sea. Funny thing is, Salina,
like the Bears too. Yeah.
Salina in the next game has orange Chicago Sea. So it's back to back. They look the same, just a different color combo. KJ Edwards is starting to eat, boys. He's going to get another first down, and all of a sudden, and this is what they did for one drive. As KJ Edwards in the first half had an 86-yard touchdown, and that's really been it. That's been the offense for Carthage. But I'll tell you this: if Carthage can even get a field goal here and make it a 2-score game, it might be over because I don't see La Vega being able to put together 2 touchdown drives.
I mean, I would just keep feeding the ball. Like, this is the fourth quarter. This is when the defense starts getting tired. Offensive line wants to, you know, put some weight on their hands and just fire off on the ball. Yeah, this is the time where offensive line and a good running back can dominate and close out a game. Just chew up the clock, which looks like to us what they're doing. Right now we're under 8 minutes left. Carthage is up 14-7. So yeah, I mean they're doing the game plan is perfect right now. I'm kind of sucks that I missed most of this game, but
it's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah,
you're here you're here at Christmas. That's all that matters. Oh, so 7:37 left. 7:37 coming out of the sky. Man, I gotta get this.
They should snap this ball with about 5 seconds to go, or less.
Benny Smith now in, and he's the backup with over 1,000 yards on the year. Hand off to him, and wow, La Vega's defense.
Yeah, he got stopped in the backfield.
Yep.
Oh, I like the football.
Yeah, Carthage's ball. They have the red lace.
I didn't know. So can high school team, or I mean, can teams at all levels, can they customize their football as long as they meet regulation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most teams now have a stamp. Now, like back in our day, you just had a ball. I think we had a stamp, but it was just a ball. Now, man, they got glitter and all that kind of stuff. Here's a big 3rd down and 8 for Carthage right here with 6:46 left. They have the ball at the La Vega 25. Let's see if they call a timeout. They got to hurry. The play clock's down to 5. They've already had 2 delay of games this game. 2 seconds left. They're going to have to hurry, and they're going to have to call a timeout.
I don't support calling a timeout here. I think you should just go ahead and run the play. You're already in a good field position. La Vega's offense hasn't really done much this game, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, just run the play, pin them, maybe force them to use a timeout because they're the ones that really need to start using timeouts. Just to keep stay in the game to slow down Carthage momentum.
I agree, but you could also say you call the timeout here, make sure you have the right play, because if you convert this first down, this 3rd and 7, not only do you get a fresh set of downs, but we're at the 6-minute mark. You're in La Vega territory, so if you're Carthage, you're assuming at worst you're going to be tied. You're probably not going to need that timeout. The Carthage defense, 12 tackles for losses, 4 sacks. La Vega's defense, 4 tackles for losses, 5 pass breakups. That's just how, again, this has been 2 teams that, we always talk about 2 heavyweights. Usually you're thinking about a shootout, but this has been an old school defensive heavyweight.
I love those type of games. I do like the fact that Carthage waited until it was 1 second left to call that timeout. I'm always a big proponent, like I've said already, of teams doing that. Just kill that clock. You already kind of can tell La Vega's on their heels. They're wanting to get a stop. They're kind of desperate for a stop. So this is a good move by Carthage.
Yeah, he likes tough defenses, big bottom girls, Scotch, and Finnish hockey defensive players. Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, also correct. Yeah.
So 3rd down and 8, Jet Surratt in shotgun. He's going deep. Has a man touchdown.
Clutch.
Carthage might have just sealed their 10th state championship in 18 years, as this passing game has struggled all game long, but Jet Surratt hits Henderson for the 24-yard touchdown.
Well, I stand corrected. That was a well-timed timeout.
Man, that is as clutch as you can get right there.
Perfectly thrown, perfect catch. Man, beautiful. Yeah, I think that might have sealed it for Carthage. Okay, has La Vega had any good drives this game on offense?
The 1 touchdown drive was like 2 broken plays. Again, it's not like Carthage. Carthage only has 268 yards of offense, but La Vega only has 125. They are, let me make sure I got this right. They are 2 for 9 on 3rd down, but Carthage is 2 for 10. These 2 teams are combined 4 for 19 on 3rd down.
Okay.
The main reason why, though, is both of these teams have done a good job of forcing the offenses to 3rd and long. Brett Lee felt that there was a push off there. There was some contact, but I don't want that called. I don't ever want that called. That's, I guess, letter of the law maybe, but I don't know. I felt like that was a good play. He underthrew it. Henderson had to fight back through to get it, though, so that was a good job by Henderson, who had a big drop earlier in the game.
Well, now that Brett said that, I kind of wish they'd show another replay.
They probably will here in a minute.
Yeah. La Vega's in Waco, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They're their own ISD.
Yeah. Okay.
They're in Belmead. So you know this well. If when you see the HEB in Waco, where we stopped at 4 a.m. going to Corpus, you keep going back about 2 more exits, you hang a left, you hit Belmead, and that's Waco, La Vega.
Okay.
We've been there. You can see their stadium from I-35.
Yeah.
Next time we're going down there, I'll show it to you.
Okay. So are the rest of the state championship games going to be at AT&T?
Yeah, they're all at AT&T now.
They are? Okay.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
Even the 1A?
Yeah, they've been doing that for about 12 years now.
For some reason, I thought one of them was at like the Frisco, where the Cowboys practice.
No, not state championships.
Okay.
1A was Wednesday. The two 1As was Wednesday, a 2A game at Wednesday night. And then yesterday was the 2A game in the morning, 2 3As, and then today's 2 4As, and then a 5A. And then tomorrow a 5A and 2 6As. Short kick for Carthage. Man, it feels like they have taken forever in this game to change out possessions. Like that was like 10 minutes. Oh, here's a look at touchdown.
Oh, okay. I guess I can see that. Well, the good thing is I'm glad he had his mouth guard in.
That is such a big thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, like I told you, one of my friend's sons who's in college, he's at Texas Tech. I just was talking to him about.
He play at Texas Tech?
No, he goes there now.
Okay.
His mom went to Tech, so he's like a legacy, I guess. But we were talking to him about this because he's 21, so he's down one of the cool kids, I guess. You could say. So I was like, okay, I see this happening. Players running around at all levels, high school, college, pros, and they're running around with their mouth guard dangling.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, what's the point? Yeah, like this guy, number one right here. And without even thinking about it, he just said point blank, it's just try to show that they're tough, that they don't need a mouth guard.
That is so stupid.
I mean, I know every generation does stupid things.
Roland breaks off a first down for La Vega up to the 50-yard line. That is dumb. I'm sorry. That is so stupid. I mean, like how tough you are when you get your teeth knocked out.
I really hope it happens too.
Oh, man. So Roland finding some space, the diminutive running back for the Pirates, who has been just a joy to watch this year. Here comes the Carthage blitz, and the sophomore Parr gets dropped.
That's just one of those, you just got to throw it away.
Got to have that clock in your head.
He saw him. You could see his face looking toward the pass rusher, and number one just took care of it. Saw him. As soon as you see him, if you don't have anybody, just chunk it out. Oh, well. Big play by Carthage. Kind of stopped some momentum by La Vega.
And that's how it's been this whole game, man. Like I said, both teams have lived in second and long all game long.
I got a question. So now it's like 5 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
La Vega has 3 timeouts. Do you think they just do no huddle, like just really speed it up? Do you think they feel after that sack on number 72, I think they should either call a timeout now because I think they need to refocus.
I mean, again, this is how it's been all game. I mean, Carthage's defensive line is just absolutely dominated. The couple plays that they've had success, it's been the quarterback breaking containment, running for his life, and throwing the ball down the field.
Man, Carthage found something on that left side of the line because most of these highlights I'm looking at, the pass rusher is coming from the left side.
3rd and 28, they're just going to have to try draw play, and wow. Roland just got his clock cleaned.
Well, this is 4-down territory, so I don't mind the call.
Oh, I don't know. Is it? It's 4th and like 17 now.
Well, it's better than 3rd and 28.
Oh, good clean hit right there.
He just spun right into it.
Yep. I don't know what Crawford, the guy who tagged him, was all mad about. Ooh, La Vega calls a timeout, so now you have to go for it.
Yeah.
You had with 4. I know you guys scored 2 times, but again, it's not like Carthage has been grinding you out. So you could have punted and tried to get the ball back and then get the 2 scores. But again, once Carthage hit that second touchdown or to make it a 2-touchdown lead, it's going to be really hard for La Vega without a broken play.
I mean, I could see the opposite side too because is it KJ Edwards, the running back for Carthage?
Yes.
He's had 170 yards, a couple touchdowns. I don't.
But it's not been like it's not been. This sounds crazy because he has 11.3 yards carry. It's an 86-yard touchdown and a couple big runs, but other than that, I mean, it's one of those. You know how that rushing stats can be a little misleading sometimes.
Very much so, yes.
I had to move my mic. Salina and Kilgore's next. Of course, Carthage and Kilgore played to begin the year. In turn, Grant and I were at that game as Kilgore beat Carthage in a slugfest. I think if you played that game now, it'd be a different outcome, but it would still be a slugfest because Kilgore is so athletic. But Kilgore's underdog in that one. Salina this year with their two running backs combining 2,200 yards, and Bo Bentley, their quarterback, and that big physical offensive line. We saw them against Sulphur Springs earlier this year, just grind them down. I mean, it's Salina they're just going to hit you and help you up and then hit you again.
I remember back in the day, Salina was kind of famous for having undersized offensive line, just kind of being more athletic.
Yep. Now they're just big old meat. So 4th and 22 for La Vega. Last gasp, desperate effort here. Parr looking to throw. He has a man. It's going to be incomplete, but he wasn't going to catch it anyway. And Carthage is taking a big step towards their 10th state championship in 18 years.
That's impressive. That's a dynasty.
I mean, that's just them and Alito kind of got started at the same time, and Alito has got 12 state champions. And then Alito also had one like in 98. Carthage went to the state championship in 91, but lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scott Surratt came here year 2. They won state, and they went off since then. He has more state championships than he does playoff losses. Think about that.
Insane.
He has more district championships than he has playoff losses.
Well, Carthage is in La Vega territory already at the 37. 1st and 10, 4:03 left. La Vega has 2 timeouts, so I'm pretty sure they're going to start using them. And I think Carthage is only going to be handing the ball off. Stay in bounds.
He goes out of bounds, but he got a first down, so you can forgive him on that. I'm excited for our Outdrink the Coverage show tonight. Indiana versus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The first playoff game in the new 12-game playoff format.
Yeah. I kind of view college football as, well, I'm a Star Trek fan. I almost feel like, there's sideline to sideline. There's Outdrink the Coverage. We primarily, on Outdrink the Coverage, talk about the pros.
Mm-hmm.
Sideline to sideline, obviously Texas high school football. College is kind of like the neutral zone.
The Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
Of sports.
Yeah, the Gaza Strip. Because both shows kind of reference college because, college recruits go in the NFL. High school recruits going to college. So there's always kind of like an interlapping.
Now, to be fair, we are looking, if we get the sponsors or we put it behind Patreon, we do want to do a college show. And I was teasing earlier when we were talking there's still 1,800 people in here. Big changes are coming. Big changes are coming to Outdrink the Coverage and Sideline to Sideline, all in great ways. And we're so excited about that because it's going to be more content. And it's going to be more consistent, deep content, not just football season. Through the year, we're going to be doing some great things. We have so many things we can't wait to announce, but we have to wait till we're told we can do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're so excited here and at Outdrink the Coverage and L4 Media and Sideline to Sideline. You and I are going to get tore up from the floor up tonight, be hungover, and then rinse repeat at the Christmas party. I'm telling you right now, you better not wear that sexy dress at the Christmas party. I'm going to be pawing you, buddy.
I'm looking forward to the Christmas party. I haven't met a lot of the folks, Taylor and Brett and all of them, so it'd be nice to put a. Now
I know you hate white people, so is that going to be okay?
We'll see.
We'll go in blackface for you. Will that make you feel comfortable? Somebody's listening going, wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, did I just hear that correctly? Where's the rewind button? What did they just say? Carthage is going to throw. He's got a man. Wow. And Henderson with the touchdown. And Carthage, the nail, the coffin have just met. This game is over. Carthage is headed to their 10th straight championship.
That's insane. Part of me, okay, good job. You got a touchdown. La Vega's not going to score. But another part of me is like, okay, you already have the game won. Just run out the clock.
Yeah, but you theoretically, it's still a 2-score game if you don't do that. I like the call. I like the aggressiveness, right? And it was a safe aggressive. If he's not there, you just throw it over into the end zone and you run the next play. Boy, the ring thing has become the thing now. Everybody points at the ring. Case and Carney for Munster did it. Now, his dad, the head coach, wasn't real happy with him doing that. Brett Lee in our Discord says they identify as Texican and Taylor is a Dominican. Dominican. Brett says they're not white. Don't tell the people where you live that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, your town might not like that. Anyway. So Carthage is going to go to their 10th straight championship. Their quarterback's a junior. They're going to return like most of their offense next year. I mean, this is what Carthage does. Carthage is always returning everybody, it feels like. They're going to have to reload on defense, but guess what? They've been reloading on defense for 15 years now, and they're always great.
Seems to work. 2:17 left in this. I mean, I think this game's a wrap.
Yeah, it just about is.
Yeah. And great season for La Vega, though. I mean, I know you won a state championship when you were in high school. My teams, when I was on them, they gradually got worse and worse.
Y'all, Irvin MacArthur has been hit with an issue of just where you're at. It's the same thing that's happened to the Plano schools. It's just the people that live there now just don't care about football. They care about other things. Irvin MacArthur's doing great things in like robot stuff and a lot of the academic, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, the girls basketball for Irvin MacArthur has been really now they've taken a little bit of a dip the last few years, but there was about a 10-year period where they were region threats. But
won a state championship too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so, like in 2012 or 2013.
I was shocked when I saw that.
I think the thing, you know, Irvin MacArthur is one of those. When I was growing up, they were always in the playoffs. You know, I sent you the video, the furthest they ever went. I think it was like 82 or 83, and it was one of those cool years where they kind of were okay in the regular season. They didn't win district or anything, and then they pulled off like 3 straight upsets before finally getting beat. But it always felt like that they were always like 8-2, 8-3, you know, that kind of thing. But man, over the last 10 years, they have really, really struggled.
I can only talk about my experience. And we had a good head coach, but I think he was kind of set in his ways. Really nice guy. He coached Priest Holmes back in the day too, actually. I think they went to the state semis. But he just had an old school way of doing it, and we had a team that was equipped to run a spread. And I know that sounds weird saying that's like 99, 2000, 2001. But the very next year, with smaller players and less talent, they went 7-3 and made the playoffs. So I think I'm not bitter, but my senior year was kind of it was wasted because we were trying to be a run heavy, trying to dominate the line of scrimmage, and we just were not equipped to do that.
Friday Night Heroes in the chat says hashtag Beast Texas, and that is what Beast Texas is.
Man, I just love the way Carthage is playing defense. They're really aggressive.
I mean, that's what they do, man. Oh, that's what I was trying to pull up as we're winding down the game. So glad to have somebody in the studio with me last night. Brett Swinney of NETSN was there, and I don't want to sit here and basically do play-by-play of the game. I want to talk about the game, but also talk overarching things. And so that's what we're going to be doing. The next game, let me see what I have up. Trying to see, it's 147. And what we'll do is basically as soon as this game hits 0, we're gonna go. We don't really do a post game show. We don't really have time to because we got to start the pregame. Because the way this works, our system, folks, is we have to leave this one and go into another studio, not in real life, but on the computer. And I think that one, I'm trying to look where that's at. It is. Yeah, Jet Sarad's actually going to probably be one day, the quarterback will probably one day be maybe a golfer. He's that good. Pre-game of the next game is supposed to start at 2:10. I'm going to go ahead and we'll go ahead and run it at 2:10 and just me and you can vamp after that because there'll still be a little bit time left because they're going to push the start of the next game back just a little bit because this game ain't quite over yet. Okay. And they still got to do the award ceremony and all that stuff.
Jeez.
All backups in for La Vega for sure.
Did you see the celebration?
No.
He had he was doing the shovel.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I miss that. You know, nowadays, I watch college and pro a lot. That's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not. I think the whole class and be classy is a little overrated. You're competing. You're having fun. I think the thing a lot of the older generations don't understand is these kids enjoy that. That's part of the game. It was part of the game for our generation too. I think our generation was kind of the first one that started that, and you didn't take it personally. I mean, some would. And you do get fights, but 9 times out of 10, you don't take it personally. Hernandez, the backup quarterback, throwing it deep, and the ball's going to be caught. Wow,
why
great
is he
catch.
talking trash? They're down 28-7.
We were just saying how we're okay with him talking trash, and now we're like, why are you talking?
But like, do it when it.
I don't know, man.
When it makes sense.
You make a catch like this, you're allowed to bark a little.
It just look. I would do what Michael Strahan did that one time and point to the scoreboard.
Yep,
that'd be me talking trash, and a mic drop.
My luck, I'd point the scoreboard and we're still down. I'm like, oh, wait. What the hell was I thinking?
I kind of hope some player actually does do that.
Hernandez, the backup, throws, and it's going to be incomplete with 18 seconds left.
That is a clean look, those helmets, man.
Yeah, and they have a red one, too. They'll flip them.
Yeah.
Botox.
No comment, Terry.
Botox.
No comment. We're trying to be a reputable show.
I'm going to ask you that tomorrow after you meet everybody.
You asked me about 8 o'clock.
Hernandez is going to throw it. The ball's going to be short. Let's see if they call a timeout and try to get a first down. I mean, a touchdown. There will be a first down. I mean, there will be a clock stoppage with the first down. But let's see if La Vega tries to throw into the end zone. I hope they do. It'd be cool to see the backup get a touchdown.
7 seconds. First and goal. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He gets the snap off. Hernandez is going to run it up the middle.
Stop him.
And he gets in. So La Vega scores with no time left, and they still lose by 2 touchdowns as Carthage wins their 10th straight championship, 28-13. I guess technically, I don't know if they have to make them take the extra point or not. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of this studio, and in about 10 minutes, we'll start. Or no, about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll start the next pregame show. It'll be Salina versus Kilgore. Kickoff around 3 p.m. Probably be about 3:15 or 3:20. But that's in turn. No, I'm Terry Riddick. Carthage wins their state championship, the 10th in 18 years.